out is there's no shame in saying like, oh, that's a pretty good strategy. I think we could run that.
Yeah, I think this is one of the first times in history that we've seen teams that are consistently performing well that also just cheese you. Like they just take these, like we seen the Quid Huskar, even Ace was breaking out the Pudge towards the end of the group stage, beginning of the playoffs, where you know it's just adaptations to the meta. You see a bunch of illusion carries, a lot of the more optimal heroes to deal with it, like the Leshrac, are already getting banned out in the second and third phase, and suddenly you whip out the Pudge, and it doesn't seem like much, but Pudge is 3-0 this tournament, right? And it's because people picked it in the right situations. It's both of these teams. So these little free wins that they get on top of you makes it even more difficult to overcome the fact that they're consistently performing.
Yeah, and on top of the cores, I feel like it's going to be like a battle between the supports, because I feel like what you're actually doing in the game right now is like you're trying to have two really heavy cores, like really stable cores. You drop them right away, like whatever it is, like a Timber or Brute, you sit on the side lanes, you're going to be occupying the side lanes all the time. And it's going to be up to the supports to tip the balance. That's why you've been seeing, like, especially on the first pick phase, that teams, they pick their cores right away, and they look at the draft, and they decide the supports after what's good with our supports and what's good against their cores.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
to add to all this, I think it's easy to watch a bunch of games of Dota, see these teams win, but you often don't know why they're winning, which pick they're winning on which side. So I have some interesting stats about both these teams. And on Radiant, this is for Gaming Gladiators, they have a 63% win rate on Radiant.
Okay.
They have a 69% win rate on Dire, so they're winning more on Dire.
Nice.
And on top of that, their
10
first pick
seconds
ratio
remaining.
is 29%, so they're preferring second pick overall.
5
And then Liquid
seconds
as well,
remaining.
theirs is a little more interesting. On Radiant, their win rate is 85%.
Diamond Gladiators.
And on Dire, it's 53%.
Whoa.
And their first pick rate is 55%, so they prefer first pick. So both these teams have different preferences, so it does look like both teams will probably get the side and pick that they want.
So for this game specifically, Liquid did win the toss and they chose first pick.
10 seconds
And Gaiman
remaining.
went for Dire, although
They would have chosen Radiant.
Yeah.
Probably
5
Radiant.
seconds
Yeah, I mean,
remaining.
I'm curious if Liquid knows their own stats then.
Yeah.
I feel like if they knew their own stats as 85% Radiant, they would have chosen that.
Sometimes it's just a coincidence, but that's just the numbers right now as far as drafting goes for them. They seem to be doing really well on first pick and Radiant, whereas Gaiman a little bit better on that second pick and Dire.
I mean, is it because of the farming as a carry you found faster on Radiant? Because
I'm telling you, it's the
10
1.5
seconds
mana
remaining.
regen in those camps down there.
the Mighty Mines. No, the Well.
That's the well.
The wells.
Mighty Mines are the Dire.
yeah, and probably also the Roshan. Like, it's easier for you to get the 15 to 20 minute Roshan.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, gentlemen, it's game number 1. Phase 1's already filtering in. Liquid take out of the Leshrac and the Enchantress. Gaiman banned out the Morphling and the Medusa.
10
And with that
seconds
first
remaining.
pick, coin flip 1, Liquid take the Broodmother right off the bat. The
5
Timber Saw is left
seconds
through.
remaining.
Gaiman picked that up along with the Techies.
It's definitely really fascinating that Liquid chose to let Timbersaw through here. Has been pretty much universally like the first pick hero if it's left in the pool. It's either like first picked or completely ignored. Maybe they think like if they were able to deal with it last series that maybe Gaiman would have had something to deal with it as well. And also people you mentioned earlier, which are that they're picking 2 cores in the first phase of the draft, usually on first pick. Like there's just certain cores that are absolutely broken right now, like the Timber and the Brutes, you see them overall first, Morphling, and then the second pick right here,
Team
the most protected
Liquid's
pick because
turn
you can
to
ban 3
bat.
heroes right away. So that's likely a support bat, but it could be theoretically a mid bat against Timber.
I mean, I think it's also good that, from my understanding right now, seeing what's happening, like Liquid probably prioritizes the side lane core a lot more, and maybe they feel like the Timber
10
trade
seconds remaining.
has given them more information, because you know probably it's going to be like a mid
5
Timber, then you can
seconds remaining.
counter it better, and you've already secured a Brute, so you have a very, very stable side lane, and you can
Gladiators
let the draft
turn
play
to
out and
bat.
decide what you need on the mid lane to help your side lanes. And they've gotten like a Bat Rider as well, which is pretty decent against the Timber Saw. You're going to need like a hero that deals a massive amount of magic to be able to deal with this early Timber Saw pressure that Queen always does.
Yeah.
10
The Bat Rider
seconds
can do that
remaining.
for sure. Sorry, and then on top of that, I always like to see it when they pick
5
these heroes that are
seconds
super
remaining.
popular, like the Timber Saw, and what
Team
Quinn thinks are
Liquid's
the best
turn
3
to
heroes
bat.
to play against it, and he'll probably just ban them out immediately. But they can flex it as well, another strength of the Timber Saw.
How likely do you think Shadow Fiend has risen up the ranks for Quinn to have to worry about banning it?
for Nisha, he can play it. It's definitely down his alley. It really just comes down to, is that the style Liquid want to play? Because most of the time, the mid laners playing this like greedy farming style hasn't been working out for most of the teams. Normally, your mid laner wants to play with your supports, and both your side laners are taking most of the net worth on the map. So the dynamic of how you play the map is going to change entirely if you do that. So you really have to crush your lane and maybe play to win 3 lanes that way, which is always an okay option to go for.
Yeah, I think that's particularly one of the things that change in a game so much right now, where the supports just tend to want to move with the mid laner the most, because the mid laner is the one that gets the most amount of XP and the importance of securing the runes, because right now the runes always alternate. So it's very easy for you to plan, okay, this rune is already out. The next probable rune is going to be like a haste or DD. We're going to have to play around it. We're going to want our Ember or our Primal Beast to get that rune, and we're going to go to the side lane. So everything is much more smoother if your mid laner is just a natural rotating hero.
That's true. I never thought about how deterministic runes might influence, like, oh, 8 minutes, there's a good probability we're going to get one of the power runes that we want.
I'd say around 10 or 12 minutes is, I've actually heard players in pubs start talking about it. They'll actually have, like, you know, they have the Roche type written down. They'll start to know what runes have been picked up.
I see.
Usually the main ones you think of are the haste and the DD, like Winter mentioned, because those will often set up kills that weren't previously possible. We have to remember that this can also be a carry brood for Liquid. What brood is like gone up in value even more than she already was, because she was a high win percentage throughout the whole course of the tournament, is the flex value. Because a lot of times people will choose to counter it with like a Naga Siren that's banned out, something like a Terrorblade PL, like Illusion carries, and then the brood just gets put safe lane and they counterpick you with the offlaner suddenly. So that's why it's such a powerful pick, more so than already what makes it broken, which is just universal right clicker, 70% damage on her first spell, and since she's universal, her base damage is like 200. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, whenever Liquid flexed it, which was actually the first time they flexed it was against Quest. It was a first phase Broodmother, and then later on in phase 2 they ended up picking Xayah Beastmaster.
Yeah, they will double down, sometimes triple down on summons. Like they had a Visage Beast, or his DK Beastmaster Brood. So it's just push, push, push. We've seen them with like a Lycan, Visage. So it wouldn't be too surprised if we see 2 of those, even though there's a Timbersaw on the other side, because you kind of just run around him, you know, kite him on the map, run past him in team fights.
Yeah. I think having this Timbersaw as well is going to be very interesting as well, because so far every hero Nisha has picked this tournament, like the only ones that he's played that are actually good versus Timber mid has just been the Leshrac. The rest don't seem like good matchups against this Timbersaw, and the Leshrac's banned. So Team Liquid does have the widest hero pool of any team at this tournament, and also have the most games, so that skews it a little bit. However, he's going to have to either play a new hero here, or Gaiman's going to have to put it on the side lane, but I think forcing Nisha into a new hero is going to be something new for Liquid here.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty important thing, you know, since Nisha is the one that's being a little bit more unstable compared to the rest of his teammates. Like if you put him in a situation where he's might be forced to play something that he's not really comfortable with. Maybe he's already played the hero, but he's just not really that comfortable. Could be like a decisive factor, you know. You win the lane, and then he's losing the lane hard, and he doesn't know what to do, or he just feeds a lot, or he makes a couple of mistakes, and the game could just be easily
Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Juggernaut. They're holding off, and they kind of take away the flex of the Broodmother, as now Juggernaut has been selected.
I don't mind the pick. It's going along the theme of hard to gank side laners. Right now you see both supports, likely the mid or potentially off laner. These are usually the 3 heroes responsible for the kills on the map in the first 10 to 25 minute window where people are trying to farm. And Jug absolutely survivable with the spin against all these heroes. And what I like about the Disruptor is you already have a lot of free pathing abuse between the Broodmother and the Batrider, and he's one of the few supports that can catch you once you've gotten over the cliff, which would usually mean you're home free.
Yeah, during Tour 1, I believe, or just the Lima Major times, Broodmother was on every game, right? First pick, or full circle, I guess. It's still first pick nowadays, but Disruptor was one of the better supports for that, because if you're going to just allow that spider to just run around in the trees and never catch them, it can be very difficult to play the game here. And the Juggernaut pick, I agree with you, it fits their lineup pretty well, but then you're picking like this Lich Jug strategy, which is very strong in the laning stage. However, Timber is one of the better heroes that's just getting away from that combo in the laning stage if they do want to make a pivot here.
I mean, do you feel like the reason them picking the Lich Jug is because they see this Techies and Disruptor, and they feel like those 2 supports can't really threaten the Jug? So in in a way
5
where I
seconds
mentioned earlier,
remaining.
where the game feels like right now you pick two cores, really strong cores that sit in their lane, and whenever you see an opportunity that the opponent shows the two supports and you know that two supports can't gank that particular hero, and then you feel like you can just farm on the lane forever.
Yeah, and I think to add on top of that, the Lich is one of those heroes that we've seen a lot against the techies. You can use the Sinister Gaze during the blast off there, and just it won't do anything, right? So you can stay on top of the techies and harass them there. That could help, but Gamer have a decision to make now. Do they just want to pick their carry here and continue to flex this Timber Saw, or they're going to reveal where this Timber is going to go?
I'd rather see the carry right now because you're almost certainly the Brood off lane. You don't even know if the Batrider's core yet. It theoretically could be core, and I think they highly prioritize like, the lane cheese on top of everything else. So yeah, they go for the Terrorblade. It's pretty standard against the Brood, even though you generally lose the lane. Like it's like a 60-40 lane for Brood. You can occupy that area of the map. The one thing you don't want from the Timber Saw, since he is like your one easy way of clearing spiders right now, is to feel like he has to sit bottom defensively, and instead, like Quinn, if he is playing the Timber Saw, or if it's Ace playing the Timber Saw, they want to be shoving your towers. They want to be running into your jungle, making you have to react, maybe even not necessarily killing the Jug, but forcing him further and further back into his Mighty Mines area in the top jungle. So I like the Terrorblade. It's like usually what Dyrachyo does. He kind of just takes the crappy farm. That's what he does. Even if he's a hard farming hero, you just say, here, buddy, you can have the bottom half of the map. Nobody else wants it against Brood.
Yeah, that's actually a really important point in how Dota is being played right now. Whenever you're in a situation where if only one of your cores can only go to that specific lane, then you're going to have a lot of problems when the supports can only play with that particular core. So having Terrorblade there, you have high armor, you have illusions, you can push out the lane, so you don't really drag your supports down to that lane, and they get to play with the Timber, because that's ultimately their plan. The supports are most likely going to be moving with Timber. Timber's the biggest source of damage. Disruptor is going to set the kill, and Timber's going to be there.
And that is a Huskar ban.
Yeah.
Meaning I don't think this Batrider is most likely going mid, right?
That's an Ember, right?
Yeah, they want something in mind for this. I don't think Gaming Gladiators draft really wants a Huskar very much right now. But it feels like whatever they want to pick from Liquid, this Huskar can exploit it. Which makes me further believe here that for Gaming Gladiators, potentially with their bans, they're just going to keep this Timber open. And now Quinn is going to get the counter pick, because I can't think of too many better heroes to put in the offlane versus Jug and the Lich there, because that is an incredibly strong lane.
Yeah, Liquid's going to need like probably like an initiating hero, like some Puck, some short cooldown, and a hero that can play against a blind matchup, maybe a Snapfire kind of hero. The supports need somebody that can play around, that can deal damage when you get the last off, when the Lich is here to start the gank.
I think they're kind of telegraphing Ember right here. I think they just clearly want that. It's kind of like Nisha's hero this tournament, even though he had that one game where he went Battle Fury double Daedalus and kind of,
yeah. We're probably not going to see that anymore.
Yeah, I think they had to start talking with him. But, you know, as Blitz said, you got to let him cook sometimes, you know? You got to let him do his thing. Maybe it doesn't work one time, but the way Nisha plays, you mentioned your kind of polarizing performances. Like, sometimes he's 10-0, sometimes he's 1-5. You don't really feel his presence in the game. And I think that has to do a lot with, like, how much his side lanes feel fine. Like, if he's allowed to just be up in your face in the mid lane with the two supports sitting around him, he's kind of like Quinn in that way. He feels a lot more comfortable with that extra momentum being given to him.
But I do feel like sometimes he tends to hit creeps a little too much, whereas I feel Quinn has the right balance about when he should be hitting creeps and when he's going to be running around and pressuring the opponent. But in general, maybe Quinn is more aggressive as a nature, you know, as a player, but I do feel that Nisha has a problem sometimes balancing that out, you know.
Yeah, and it just makes you wonder, do you want to give Quinn a free lane? Because Quinn's the type of player, knowing from experience playing him as a carry player, if he wins his mid lane, you're next. He's going to go to your lane and make sure you don't farm anything. That'll give Dyrachyo a net worth advantage, and as a Jug, that's not great. You don't want your Ember to be on catch-up duty here. As far as I know, I don't think Ember can stop a Timber Saw on the laning stage. But even if they want to do the Timber off lane, which might be a better lane for the Juggernaut, he can pick anything from his choosing to deal with an Ember. And Ember's generally been a hero that is pretty easy to exploit, so I'm very curious on which direction game is going to go. Is it going to be Ace, or is it going to be Quinn on this final pick?
I wouldn't mind something like a Beast if they want to go offlane.
I was thinking about that too. Like, Beast can just sit in the lane, and you're pretty good against the Jug. Keep farming, you give the Terrorblade to Aura when he comes to the group up.
There's also Dark Seer still in the pool.
Versus Jug, probably not something you want to do too much because he can deal with that quite easily.
Okay, maybe
But
not.
they're gonna do it anyway. Well, you called it.
You can at least surge out of this devastating combo with the shield, the gaze, and the blade fury. But
Darkseer's never really been like a laning hero. Like, yeah, you have your power spikes, level 2 Ion Shell when you both hit level 3, and overall, like, you do set up dives against certain carries, but not really against Jug.
Has the matchup changed because he's universal now and he's more damage?
Yeah, you're allowed to just CS with Darkseer. As
Darkseer right clicks now?
I'm saying, like, it's similar to Timbersaw, where both these heroes used to only CS with spells and they have like 50 damage, but now you can go some early stat items and you don't have to keep spamming Ion Shells. They usually like rush the Vanguard, and at that point, you're pretty unkillable, which means that we talked about it. What Gaimin wants to do, they want to rally behind Quinn,
10 seconds
Darkseer, and
remaining.
Terrorblade. They just kind of do their own thing once they're level 5 or 6.
They keep the lane shoved
5
out,
seconds remaining.
creates a lot of pressure so that Queen can run around and kill people. And on top of that, in the team fights, you have to vacuum into the disruptor ulti.
I think the most important thing is going to be the mid matchup, because if Quinn does win the lane, he's going to go skew that top lane. But I think if you leave the Darkseer alone, it's going to be a little difficult for him to lane there, because you start your surge and then you get gaze and there's a spin. It could be an easy death.
And apart from land, mid, sea, there's like 5 universal heroes in the draft, so 5 against 5 balance.
Where land meets sea meets galaxy. Alright then. Let's get ready to get this thematic battle underway. Where land meets sea, where gladiators meet liquid, let's meet OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Tsunami, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finals here at the Barley Major. Gaming Gladiators against Team Liquid. Once again, Fogged, we're here, the same 2 teams. I mean, overall, coming into this one, is there a chance we see something different, or from what we've had so far from these 2 squads, Gaming Gladiators coming in as the favorites?
Yeah, absolutely coming in as favorites. I mean, they have a year record since last TI, not counting TI, of course. It's 18-9 in game score, and overall, most of those series, of course, have gone in favor of Gaming Gladiators. I do think both teams, they kind of got what they wanted, but I think Gaming, they got more what they want. I think this looks like a very strong group up draft. But Nisha, he's been, again, on his Ember Spirit, of course, he's been incredible, and looking forward to see how this one's going to go down, because Brood has also been pretty annoying hero.
It has.
He's been just really disrupting a lot of carries inside of these games, and yeah, we'll see which one of these gets the big farm.
Yeah, and a lot of times can sort of become that secondary carry or third carry if you've got something good going on in the mid lane as well. In terms of that mid lane, you say, Nisha's been popping off, getting him on his Ember Spirit. Of course, from Gaming Gladiators side of things, they get the Timbersaw nice and early. As they see the draft play out, they're more than happy to keep Quinn on that mid Timbersaw. I mean, who has the better idea, do you think, in that mid lane? Are Liquid right to sort of say, hey, we'll put Nisha on the Ember against this, it's going to be fine? Or Gaming Gladiators right to say, oh, you put the Ember mid, all right, we'll put Quinn, we'll take Quinn on the Timber mid, and he's going to give Nisha a bad time.
Yeah, you know what? It's game 1, right? We've got a potential long series. I think this is the time to maybe try it out. You give Quinn his Timber, you're going to go Nisha, what do you want to play? Nisha's like, give me the damn Ember, we're banning Huskar, make sure I'm set up for success. He's had some really good games, he's had some funny ones too with the Battle Fury double data list, but
I hope we get.
You better.
We're not
going to
that hit. That was it. That
will never happen again.
Meepo thing.
Yeah, that was a Meepo thing, and also
Meepo.
just summons, which maybe got baited a little bit and never went for BKB, but that happens. But yeah, I think this could be set up for some fun, but it could also be set up for Gaming just getting ahead and staying ahead, because they do like to group up, especially when they play with this Darkseer, get those auras.
Sure.
Could be some damage issues maybe from Liquid, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and what do you sort of make of kind of the matchups between the carries in this? We've seen a lot of Terrorblade. We've seen teams try out the Juggers and such in this major. Head to head, how do the timings of these sort of work out? In terms of how you feel when we've experienced teams playing these heroes head to head.
Jug has slowed down a lot.
Yeah,
right. I think that's one
Battle
thing.
Fury.
He goes for his Battle Fury, so I feel like TP actually is a pretty okay matchup for it. Yeah, you can have some troubles just if he's able to stick on you with with the Omni Slash and stuff like that, but itemization, TB, he kind of keeps ahead of this.
All right, yeah. If you have a good lane as the TB, which I imagine, would you imagine Dratcho will this game? I mean, how are things sort of against the Zai Brood and the Boxy Bat?
Probably like 64. They definitely have kill threat onto Dratcho.
Sure. He can get eventually pushed out of the lane, but Terrorblade's a Terrorblade. He's going to farm anyway. And what you could see him still getting this good, what kind of Yasha, Skadi or Manta, Skadi timing, comparable to maybe Mickey having the Battle Fury in half of his next item. And I imagine that's the sort of period when things can be tough for the Jug.
It could be,
This
but-
push is going to come in around the Terror Blade, and Jug's got to consider, do I want to turn up to these fights,
Exactly.
or do I want to keep hitting creeps?
The one thing is, though, the Jug overall, I look at the lane, he should have a pretty free time overall.
You think his lane's easier?
Yeah, versus Darkseer and Techies, it should be quite a bit easier because he's got the backup of the Lich. Pano mentioned it. I think Lich and Rubik are the two that I do really like to see in response to Techies because you've got that instant disable, catch him off the blast off, so should be able to secure some really solid farm. So maybe that's the situation where Mickey is actually able to slide ahead. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. These two teams, they played each other so many times this year. In for a treat.
I have indeed. Let's see if we get Gaming Gladiators being able to take it all again, or Team Liquid coming with this a successful challenge, managed to take them down here in this grand final. It's their best of 5, something that Gaming Gladiators have gotten rather comfortable with winning time and time again this season.
Even just the upper bracket. I think Fear on the panel did mention it toward the end there. These guys don't lose once they start getting on their winning streak in that winner bracket. So let's see. It's going to be quite a test here for Liquid. And let's see if they can get off early and start that advantage, because I think that's exactly what this lineup overall is looking for. Get a lead. Push that lead. Try to shut down Gaming Gladiators. Take over the map a little bit. See if they get this first. Well, they're actually looking a little sneaky.
By surprise up from the high ground.
Very.
She's got the 2 blood grenades ready to go. Indeed, with this position, they're holding around the trees. Super hard for Liquid to get to. The smoke dispels and Boxy knows they're up there. With that in mind, Liquid unable to make the approach that they would hope for. Gaming Gladiators, they knew it was coming.
Liquid already putting down some. I mean, that ward might actually just counter pretty much immediately.
That's already been
Put
pinged,
it
yeah.
right under Gaming's vision. Tofu.
It's a good angle with that flame break.
Kinda tanky.
Doesn't want to dive the tower though. At this point, Mickey far too risky. Just a bit of poke damage. Tofu perfectly fine. So they don't get Tofu, and they will indeed lose, almost certainly lose that Observer ward.
Definitely gonna.
They pinged it out. They knew what was going on. In terms of the bounties, we'll just end up splitting the 2 for 2. So yeah, let's see how some of these lanes go down. As you said, you would imagine Jug and Lich should be pretty solid top. Maybe down bottom, Grouchy on the TB feels a bit of pressure. And then the mid matchup, yeah, we'll see who was sort of correct with the way they drafted it out, because clearly both teams very happy to have these 2 heroes go head to head.
Missing the last hit there, a free one. And that, well, as we've seen in the past, it's been Timber dominant. Especially when Quinn has been playing it versus these Ember Spirits, he's phenomenal, just taking advantage of it. And that's where there could be difficulties, even at these lanes and stuff like that. If Liquid does come ahead, that's where Quinn can just break that, right? Because he can make moves to these lanes, to that Brood's lane in particular, and protect the tower to make sure that the Terrorblade Daracho is able to get. This Disruptor pick is cool. I like the point that Brian made quite a bit on panel 2. I was looking at quite a bit of history of when they do pick it. Gaming does not pick this hero that often for Celery, but when they are playing versus these heroes that can sneak up the pathing in particular, versus this Brood, versus the Bat, that's when they do like to have it. So it's cool, because then they rounded it together, right? They made the Disruptor look even better when they throw in the Dark's potential of the vacuum combos.
Absolutely, yeah. Great team fight provided just between the 2 of them. They're also just great chase and catch. If the fights start to go the way of Gaming Gladiators, they can easily combo it into further. Very hard for Liquid to escape from a bad engagement.
Yeah, and maybe this top lane isn't going to be as easy as expected for Mickey, because he does know Lich is a very, very strong hero, but Techies really is just that threatening. And I do see that Sania, he actually took the Frost Shield immediately at level 2.
See, he's got him. It's going to be first blood for Daracho down here. Good catch from Celery with the kinetic field, and there's enough time for the 2 of them to right-click him out of the game.
Daracho Terrorblade, one of the few Terrorblades I think in this tournament that is having just still the same success that it usually does. I think most people are talking about how it's been struggling more than they expected. Low, Liquid with Boxy's death is actually going to take away the Water Rune from Quinn. Quinn is actually going to be put a little bit low on HP here for the next moments. Yeah, definitely seeing. I'm seeing Mickey just getting poked. Power of the techies, the poke. Yeah.
Down bottom again. Zai. Attempting to get to Daracho, but Daracho's fine. Very hard for kind of Zai to sort of threaten Daracho on his own. It's going to take a few levels to come out from Boxy before they have like that magical damage that may be able to pressure and threaten the Terrorblade even when he's under his tower.
Boxy's actually just going to start pulling waves. Maybe he blocks this small camp too. I feel like just having the small camp available for Celery to reset lane position never feels good. It never feels good for Zai.
Yeah, it's going to get blocked.
Mid
lane. Oh goodness, they're living on the edge. And Nisha underestimated the damage that Quinn would be able to do to him, and the amount of damage Quinn would be able to survive through. That is It's an unfortunate death there for Nisha on the mid.
I mean, and Quinn's gonna hold the range creep there. Now that's ring of health. And that was actually with the TP coming in, where they stole the water room away from him. That was him without any extra little refill. He just stands toe-to-toe versus Nisha. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean...
That's not a person you want to give the kill to.
No, he pushed for the risk to try and get that kill in the 1v1. And now that he didn't get it, it means that he's never going to have that opportunity again. No. Yeah, Ring of Health out, 2 points in the reactive armor. Quinn, he's never dying in this matchup.
Nope.
Nisha missed the opportunity.
And top is free farming. You know, Ace, he is getting that really, really solid farm with Tofu just harassing behind him. Not able to get any type of slowdown onto this. The Jug is farming nicely. But I've seen what Ace is able to do when he gets off to a good start as the Darkseer. Yeah, he occupies so much. He actually just plays farming. He gets Vanguard. He takes over the top part of the map, not the actual like creeps. He'll pull some creeps into all these neutral camps because there's so much for Darkseer to farm once you get an advantage like that.
Try and make a bit of a go, but every time Surge is there, very hard for Lich and Jug to get away with the successful moves. And now Mickey.
I'm surprised Insania put this one in this structure.
It just doesn't do anything in this lane for him.
It's all magic damage. Yeah, if you catch them like really off guard and you know there's no surge and stuff, you can get that spin down with the slow. But most of the time that I've seen from these Liches versus like Kakis, they hold the point or they get the gaze. So see if that pays off for Insania. Right now they're just getting really harassed. Healing Ward is doing wonders, but have to be careful with that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
At the least, you know, Liquid, as long as they're able to hold the wave around their tier 1 tower and stay close to that, they shouldn't die in this top lane.
But that means you're not getting kills on Ace.
Yeah, you're not pressuring this Darkseer.
Darkseer is one of those heroes where it can be a little bit like feast or famine. You could just... Sometimes you just don't get off to a start at all, and you're just dying a bunch of times, and it takes you some time to cover. This doesn't feel like it's going to be that for Ace at all this game. That goes for Aura's really early. Insania making the move.
Let's see if they can get the kill onto Duraccio. They can. They get the Flame Break knocked back into the Firefly.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They'll be able to take him down. So put some pressure on.
So that's the benefit, I guess, of the Frost Shield too. If he does want to make some rotations to the bottom, diving. So, okay. Cool with that if he makes those type of moves on his.
Of course, any moment spent away from that top lane does seem to mean that Ace is going to have the freest time ever.
Darkseer with the lineup that... Oh, Nisha might just be dead.
Level 6 has been hit by Quinn. He's in with the Chakram. Nisha will be able to keep his distance from Quinn. Still got to be a bit careful. I mean, Quinn's still got a bit of mana to play with, so both Insania and Nisha have to be cautious.
Power Rune's going to be coming up soon. Nisha's just going to try to run to base. Can the supports deny this rune away from Quinn here?
Playing, it's not seeming a lot of fun for Mickey.
When he got the healing ward, immediately.
Able to snipe it. Now he's in with the jump. Mickey's gone. Mistakes made on the top lane. Mickey left on his own as Insania's sort of just trying to help everywhere else out. Goes down towards the bottom, comes over towards the mid. It's even Mickey on an island and an island of pain as he's dead. He's out of that top lane. As Ace continues to probably have a huge smile on his face with how well this early game.
He is absolutely free farming, Owen. That is a concern. This Jug. Oh, is he gonna? Oh, I mean, he's got Blade Fury. Okay. But he's gonna lose his courier immediately, and they can force this and go for him.
Help.
What's gotta come up? They're bringing 2 supports.
Yeah, they have to. They've got to bail Mickey out of this situation. He's not been having a fun time at all. They'll turn towards Ace. Ace is able to get the 3-man vacuum up, but he will die.
Mickey.
They get Mickey.
Nice pull.
He's going to have Glimpse in the second celery. Yeah, he's got him with the Glimpse. That should do it. So they'll lose lives themselves here in Gaming Gladiators. 2 go down.
They get the chain.
They'll lose the 3rd as Nisha swings across, chains to cancel the TP of Celery. They get the 3 of them. So Liquid as a whole will be happy. Mickey, maybe not so much, as he's dead yet again.
Oh, man. Don't want this Jug to get slowed down. This is a hero that you want to be able to have that good pace versus the Terrorblade. TB, I mean, Duraccio, yeah, he dies the once, but this hero, it farms much more naturally than a Jug who's struggling in laning phase.
I mean, to the point where overall you feel for Gaming Gladiators losing the 3 heroes there to kill the Jug as soon as the Jug returns isn't actually that.
It doesn't feel that bad.
They're like, whatever, we just killed your Jug twice in a row.
No, I mean,
it's recovering, Mickey.
At least they got kills, but I mean, Mickey now it's like, he's gonna have to just jungle a bit here. Duraccio, he can actually come top of the tower.
They can take this tower, I think, yeah.
And mid Quinn, he's also gonna start pressuring this tower too. So Liquid getting pulled apart a little bit here. Zai, he is having the best time though, so he's gonna be able to apply some good pressure down bottom, and we'll see which route he does go with his build. We've seen a lot of different variety.
Yeah, I mean, in a game that's kind of going like this, when you know your carry's sort of struggling, is that more of an incentive to go for sort of the carry right-click brood build and build for yourself, or does it mean that you should go the aura route so you can make sure your actual carry is able to have a presence in the team fights? You know, what's sort of the thought process as the offlane brood in this sort of game, do you think?
That's a good question. I think because he has the Ember Spirit, he might actually just go down the aura route.
Yeah.
So We'll have to say though. I think it's, for me, I'm having difficulty telling just in some of the games because it's like, oh, he should go, or he might go Aura just because like they're struggling, or they're playing versus an early game lineup, and then they just go triple core. So I mean, like Amar has been like one of the best examples from that, just going constant scaling on his brood. Sania.
He's going to try and chase down Celery here. Celery's got the Ratio by his side. Zai, he's not going to want to spend any time chasing Celery any further. Ratio turns up. Also Tofu and Quinn. They're looking for the chase onto this. Insania and Zai, they've got to back off.
They've got the glimpse if they need it.
I think Insania doesn't really stand much options of getting away from this one. He's going to try and spend as much time as he can, making the four of them chasing, but he will indeed be going down. Kills for Gaming Gladiators.
I mean, that's four. That's quite a bit of chasing the lids. That's space.
And Mikkei's definitely going to appreciate that. Oh, he's been able to push out the top wave, catch up a little bit on farm. You know, he's more than happy with Insania dying as deep as he did just then.
I love how much attention that Boxy's actually been putting on this top area versus the Darkseer. He's, in the beginning of the game when they smoked, they blocked this camp with a sentry right at the start, and now he's just been constantly walking over, keeping tabs of the Darkseer stacks and everything like that too. So definitely potential that Liquid wants to fight around that area if they do set up for it on the side of Gaming Gladiators. Let's see some early movements coming from there. 5-4. Pretty even start here between both. Jug getting slowed down to hurts a little. But that space that they just got for Mikkei was pretty crucial for him to catch right back up.
He's getting to play this whole top half of the map without any interruption.
Waiting to see what Zai wants to do it up. Preds is usually kind of indicative of Echo Saber.
Yep. More like the one mid, Nisha. It's cool. He's still got his remnant ready.
Super low.
He was living on the edge there. I mean, Quinn, of course, will be able to easily hold this mid, hold this tier 1 tower. So super hard for Liquid to get away with any early push. Any time that Quinn turns up on his timber.
I mean, mostly it's just Zai going to be doing almost all that push. And yeah, Zai, he's committed the Ogre Club, so he's got to be scaling. So they're going for triple scaling items on the 3 cores at the least here. I mean, if there's auras that come out very early for Ace, that could pose to be some scare around the early team fights around these towers. Because if Ace just has some like Vanguard mech, and they're fighting with these triple scaling cores, they're going to need more time to build perhaps those towers if gaming does set up for them.
Yeah, and I feel it could be difficult as well for Zai to have impact right, even with this sort of Echo Saber build, because unless he's able to sort of find the supports in the back lines, the cores, they're not really going to care too much about getting clicked by a spider early on, right? TB, high armor, and this Timber Saw, Quinn's not going to care at all.
Yeah, Celery's the one who has to really worry about it the most. Disruptor is the squishy one, but Techie's, he actually does, once he's got Taser, he's pretty good versus that Broodmother in a way, so does have a way around it. A lot of stacks being formed. Tofu, I think he has like a quad stack around his hard camp right now down bottom, but also we see Liquid getting crazy stacks. I mean, all about getting that efficiency going now that the lanes have been broken and they're fairly even. Quinn.
Celery. It's the 6 now.
Quinn is tough for them to deal with at this point. Occult Bracelet, 1770 HP. Very tanky.
They can't kill this.
They'll have to commit literally everything onto him and they can't even get him.
He'll go for the last one at the Tofu, but Static Storms already will stop them from being able to push in for this. Nisha turns, gets the Remnant out. They're on full retreat now.
I believe he dodged the glimpse there, I think, with a slight.
They're going to go for Boxy. Ace even dropping the ball to try and catch him with a slowdown. Quinn's going to be able to head forward with the Timber Chain. Firefly's gone. Boxy will try and deny it to the Ancients. Not going to do so. Quinn will get the kill, and Liquid will get pushed back.
Probably they are actually trying to hit the mid tower. Their lineup without the freak is not building, so.
Fearing heat.
Nisha will at least get away because he dodged the glimpse there. Glimpse. Insania. Quinn.
Left them up with a chakram, but the blast off is also going to fall short. Nisha going to attempt to jump back in and take down Tofu. He'll get him with the second remnant.
Back-to-back spell misses there.
Radiant's top tower is under
They
attack.
would tree out that after losing Tofu.
And Mikkei's probably like, great job, guys.
This Jug,
This up, I love it.
he is. Mikkei's going to be back on track for a solid Battle Fury timing.
He's pretty close. He's keeping neck and neck with that TB right now. Racho. I mean, we have the Clash of Titans. This is building up to be a nice little mid-game here with these fights. Yeah.
Both carries are going to hit their timings.
Yeah.
For sure.
And let's see if the auras thrive over the scaling. Zai's actually going to go, okay, this is the other MR build that we saw. Maybe it's just BKB Hex, because I think that's what we saw do the other day, which that is a little bit of, it's not like Echo Saber. Yeah,
I think that's better. I think, as I said, with the Echo build, you're going to have this problem of not being able to threaten the cores. Get BKB and Hex, then If you can get that Hex on at a good timing, absolutely it's going to trip up heroes like Duracho. He's going to be relying on waiting till he's low to go for a Sunder. You come in hot with a Hex on the Brute Mother at a solid time in the mid game. Could make life difficult for Terrorblade.
Liquid have blink. Moxie, Stadia. Try to set up for something here. Again, there have to be... I mean, some of these cores are a bit too tanky for them to really deal with. Like Ace and Quinn in particular, they have to commit a lot. Ace doesn't actually have the mech just yet, so maybe they try for him. They'll go for the support first.
Try and get rid of Celery before we get the Static Storm off. He'll still get it down though. Celery already easily got the Static Storm. He had a vacuum as well to caught the two in the minute. Nisha, he's out. They'll get Insane here as well. They try and go in Celery, but they couldn't catch him for long enough. The lasso didn't last and to a point where he was anywhere close to dying. He very easily got the ults off on that one.
That was weird. To be honest with you, that was quite strange.
There's a couple of times now where they're trying to make these moves, going with the lasso last time onto Tofu under the tier 1, this time onto Celery. Neither of them have gone great. This one, it went pretty terrible. They lose Nisha and they're going to lose the tier 1 tower.
I mean, Boxy even flame break the blast off, so it would have been actually even worse if he actually connects on top of that one there. Over-aggressive move from Liquid. That's a blink reveal from Boxy. That just gets Nisha killed, actually. Yeah,
it feels like a bit of unnecessary pressure from Liquid. I feel like Mickey's going to be like, guys, is it
chill? I'm farming.
I'm having a great time.
I've got stacks.
Good timing on the Battle Fury off the top lane. Yeah, Liquid, I think, getting a bit too aggressive. They're going to catch him. He's trapped in the kinetic field. He's going to try and low steal up a little bit, but there's not a chance, Zai.
And this Quinn Timber is a problem. He is gigantic already. Oh, and he's level 12. Yeah, is done. Shield ruined. They're just they're rolling. They're looking to just keep making these moves. Ace, he's got mech, so they've got these. They're very tanky versus the limited damage I would say that Liquid has in their draft.
I mean, I can't see Liquid going for that move again around this mid tower.
They have to wait for some more items.
They've tried a couple of times. It's not gone great. Realistically, it feels like they've got to wait for Mickey to get a second item, and then maybe they can go for Mickey, with Mickey joining them with the healing ward, with the level 2 Omni Slash. Maybe they have a chance of pushing for it, but going for that move the same way they had the last few times, it's just a recipe for disaster.
It absolutely is, and they're actually maybe setting up for Nisha here, and you should be careful. Get him. It's really dangerous to do this versus a team like Game. Little mistakes can just really spiral out of control here. Racho is getting absolute freedom when they do these type of plays too. I'm seeing Tofu. Tofu's actually just setting up mines even around the mid area just in case. They're like, if they're going to dive us like that, I might as well just set up some traps too.
When? Very close to having the Kaya Sanjay.
Shield rune as well.
Massive.
It really is a problem. Their damage on the draft of Liquid, it's going to take, like you said, like 1 or 2 more. Even some of these items are just committing everything to try to bring this man down. And
yeah, they don't kill him.
No, and they're going to have the auras. Mech is done for Ace. He's going to go pipe. I'm quite worried. Even though the gold lead is so cool, I'm worried when the fights do kick off. Are they going to be able to actually kill and bring down these tanky cores?
Are we going to see sort of Juggernaut Mickey turn up and be terrifying? Or indeed, just be tickling?
They might be able to find Duracho. He's actually lingering in the top side here.
See, they've got eyes on him. CTP's coming in, trying to burn him low. They've got the lasso. Static Storm's there though. Brad is able to turn with the Sunder. Another attempt to move around these tier 1s. They're just not going the way of Liquid.
Oh, and every aggressive move is actually hurting them, it feels like.
They gotta stop, you know, he's gonna be screaming at them. He's like, guys, can we calm down, please?
I mean, he is getting free farm, but it feels like he's been getting this free farm anyway. They're trying to go for plays, but I think Gaming's just prepared for it. Nisha. Whittling down this tower. He's actually almost got
the space to get this tier 1 tower very low, I guess.
Yeah, pretty good.
With the way attention was drawn towards the top. So.
Nisha, nice Tofu.
Yeah, maybe you can do something about this as well. Celery is here to back up Tofu, but of course no Static Storm.
Be in trouble. Nice. Doesn't get the slight dodge.
Still though, the ball is down upon him. He is going to have to jump away. Time is being bought for the rest of Liquid to turn up, but they'll find Celery on the retreat. Mickey will take him down.
Auto attacks. Good kill there for Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey's happy with that. So, yeah, there you go, guys. You know, bring the fight to us.
Spiders, look at this.
This is great.
They sneak it. So Zai, sneaky little spiders. He's pushing bottom, and he ends up finishing out that mid tower from the consistent poke that Nisha was actually doing onto it there.
And okay, we're going to go for the BKB Nullifier. Nullifier? The lockdown item of choice.
Okay. I mean, versus Taser, it'll be great, and versus like the Surge and everything like that, I think that's the majority of the times that you do see it. But, yeah.
Well, there's reasons why you would have maybe preferred it to have been the Hex that you say we've seen from some other brews with this BK build than the Nullify this game? Like arguments for both?
arguments for both. I think he also recognizes that, you know, gaming is a team that usually, actually I was clicking around, they don't actually have a Pavis. Usually they have a Pavis on somebody. They usually just build a lot of these like glimmers and auras and stuff like that. So maybe just wants this extra dispel.
Insania, he's just going in looking for Insania. We'll get held back by the chains, but the vision's there for the glimpse back. Insania throw out the chain front, they're going for the last one to Ace. Ace is still on the front of the neck, he will die.
Good Omni.
Hit the two of them, they get Ace and Tofu, they won't get Quinn though. Quinn, perfectly fine, he's got the Ace rune as well, running around.
They should be able to get Celery also. This time it's gaming.
They do.
They
That's a
get
good
caught off.
strike back from Liquid. Able to take the fight on their own half of the map, with it being gaming gladiators this time to be the ones to go looking for action.
And kill bounty is very important. Jug gets at least one of them there. He gets Tofu, and he gets a little bit of that assist gold as well too.
Mikke's keeping it cool. He's got the Sand and Yash done now over the Battle Fury, so feeling pretty strong now. 18 minutes in on the Jug.
I'm always intrigued to see like when they lately when they do go for like SNY and stuff, because he is playing versus Disruptor. So some of the times you do see like the mantas just for the plays to push yourself out of these kinetics and stuff like that, because status is just what do you think versus status also. I guess he just wants the raw stats and everything from it.
Celery's going to try for the setup, and he's going to find it here. Very nicely done. Celery coming out for the trees. He's hit, but they have enough damage to kill Nisha in time before it ends. He's
dodges.
He's out.
The attack is coming.
Tofu. He's on him. He was waiting. He was ready.
I think
Tofu cleans up the job.
I think the attack might have been able to was still following him from Duracho, but either way, Tofu, he's there.
I mean, that definitely extra damage done there when you jump out with the remnants and there's a techies waiting.
He'll take that.
Yep.
Thank you for the XP, my team. I'm level 11 on techies now, soon 12.
And yeah, very nicely set up there from Celery. I think he might just have got that Glimmer Cave complete and was able to kind of come out from the tree line and open up with a static kinetic.
Yeah,
we really caught him by surprise.
We're seeing the skill build of his really paying off. 0 in Thunderstrike.
And indeed, not surprised. Yeah. That's pretty horrific. Yeah, Nisha will be having nightmares about that one.
Kate Frost. We're gonna push Duracio away here.
Radiant's middle tower.
Bounced too successfully though. They're boarding in on this fight.
Nisha again, he's sort of killing up kills, and the wall's going to be dropped down in the midst of it. They're looking at Duracio. Duracio still got back to add asunder. What's the play for you, Duracio? He's going to target. He turns toward Nisha, takes Nisha's health. Zai fighting almost with a BKB.
Duracio still.
They're pulling back the pit. Duracio's getting busted. Duracio, he's going to live. The team, they're able to bail him out. Duracio splits out to the side of the fight. Where's Foxy here on the side of Liquid? They find Duracio again in the truth. Still fine. Maybe with the second round of play, if you're finishing, they can. They'll finally be able to take Duracio down. Zai, light stealing up on towards Quinn. They get the static storm down. It's going to trap, in fact, the three of them. What a storm. Quinn, he's able to take down Zai and Nisha. They will pull back in that chakram. And Celery helps to turn the fight in favor of gaming gladiators to get the glimpse back onto Mikke. Hey, Fury back up, I think, for the third time. This fight will allow Mikke to escape.
He wants blood.
And he's chasing. He's surged up. He's running down the choke. The healing wall's going to be there from Mikke. He's got to consider how he's going to play his way out of this one. Frost Shield thrown down onto it. Kinetic field again. Celery more control as they set up to take out the Lich. Mikke's kind of standing his ground. They still feel pretty beefy, of course, with this Sanjin Yasha on top of the Battle Fury, but he won't be able to get back in on the fight. Gaming gladiators, they come out on top. Some excellent stuff there from Celery. I think sort of between his glimmer play, keeping Duracio alive for as long as he did, and once again these sort of catches with the static storms, the kinetic fields, and that glimpse towards the end as well. You're seeing why they were happy to bring the disruptor in on this game.
Absolutely. I mean, Celery, I cannot believe how long Duracio survived. They committed onto him so long. Liquid, they're trying to take advantage of the fact that Static Storm was down. The fight lasts so long. It comes back up toward the end of it, and I don't think he could have gotten a better one. All three cores getting caught inside of it. Celery needs to die earlier in these fights.
Yeah, and Quinn is, of course, he is completely popping off the back of how much his team sent up from, such as Celery was in that last fight. You know, still yet to die, 8-0-3 as level 17, and very close to being able to get his own Hex.
And definitely feeling all the power of these auras, right? That's why they wanted this Darkseer. You're seeing this mech, this pipe, this soon Greaves gonna be done. They're Liquid, it's like the damage, it was starting to kind of run out there toward the end of it. Gaming able to sustain with it, with this tanky Timbersaw, with this Terrorblade, who had quite a bit of gold saved up also. Duracio, he has 4,200 gold. So for the next fight, he could just have that butterfly finished up.
That's true, he's gonna have quite the power spike.
See if he commits for the butter if he goes for more tanky rounds. He's gonna commit to the butter.
So yeah, they're not gonna have any sort of true strike anytime soon.
Just around the Roche area here. Potentially get maybe a pick off and then try to go for it.
moment. They're not too sure of where Duracho is, so maybe assuming that he's farming this bottom area, but...
Zai is sending his spiders all over the place to try to get some scout information, but...
Try and find some of these cores. Game of Gladiators on the other side. They're half of the map.
Gaming have Greaves now on Ace, plus that pipe. He just finished the Greaves. They have 4 Stabs and Glimmers on the double supports. Quinn, Suna, Hex. Liquid, they're gonna start it.
Well, it looks like they should get it.
Be able to get it.
Gaming Gladiators is going to be heading over soon enough. They'll smoke up now around the mid. Yeah, this pressure's going down far too quickly, so they're finding a nice little opening.
Very nice.
The question is if Game Gladiators want to still take the fight despite Liquid having the Aegis, which they may do so.
If they see people split up, Nisha shows top, but he has a Remnant bottom.
Dire's middle tower.
Start thinking with Duracho. We're going to be the one to lead in first.
He's under vision. They did see him there for a second.
To spot Mickey out for the side.
Butterfly just being delivered.
Nisha's rejoined the team. Hex is done on Quinn.
This Hex might catch them off guard. Could have to be careful how they position themselves here. Okay, HP.
He's got his Nullify complete, Mickey.
They've got both, right?
Yes. Double Nullify ready for the next fight on Liquid.
It would be nice versus the Glimmers and stuff. Like if in that situation, right, in that last fight, if they get these Nullifiers, if they had them versus the Glimmers, Duracho might die way sooner.
Yeah, Tofu and Celery have been doing a lot to get their cores out.
2 supports, yeah, they're pretty farmed. And they're more, it's always the same thing for gaming, is they're more about the true support kind of itemization. It's a Bat Rider on Liquid, so you kind of have to itemize for yourself when you're playing this hero. To catch somebody here with Quinn with Hex.
Being able to back right off after successfully getting the Roche. Don't end up being in a fight that they don't want to.
He's keeping himself neck and neck with this Terrorblade.
That's good fun. A fantastic time of the space that the team has ever created after not having the easiest of times in that lane matchup.
Is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He's getting some good pressure here on the tier 2 bottom.
I mean, look,
they gotta react to. I mean, it's gotta die quick. Take a big pot flip.
Yeah, Nisha's gonna start heading back now.
Foxy's cutting the wave. I was like, what are they gonna? They can't just let him do this. Cut the wave and just start pressuring top as well with Mickey.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The meta to continue to try and take the camera for the backdoor protection kicks back in, and he'll get it. It's on. Yep. Despite the creeps being cut, the objectives Nisha is taken. They get the Hex.
He's safe.
And they're not going to try for any further follow-up. Nisha up on the high ground.
Perhaps if he didn't have the shield rune, they could attempt for it there, but either way, it's a tough one to go for. And Nisha, as we said, no more funny business.
They can take
second item BKB.
Take the torment to that. Yeah. There's a Celery, Ace, and Tofu. They'll be able to find it.
Who gets it? It's Celery. Not the best one, but by no means. I've actually started to like this one a little bit more when you're playing versus these annoying like Broods and stuff like that. You can actually just scout them pretty decently with this Thunderstrike. Long cast range. Around mid here with Ace.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Liquid gathering. They'll rally around this Aegis 2.5 more minutes.
Yeah. Interested to see as well if Mickey commits for his next item pick. He has got the Axe but wonder if he'll consider the MKB instead. Use the Butterfly. At the moment, Zai, he was
thinking about
it, whether he can continue to go to build for himself as much as he was, as he did have the MKB queued up for himself on the Brood, but he's now changed it to the Lincoln Sphere. Which does mean that this is going to be neither of those cores considering
they're talking. I think they're talking about it right now because Mickey, I think he's shuffled between 4 different items in the last 2 minutes that I've been checking. BKBs, yeah, he's really considering what's going to be the most opportune thing for them to look for the best next fight.
Yeah, if they don't have the True Shot, once Duracho has the Satanic,
it's going to be a problem.
I don't see Liquid having enough magical damage to threaten this terribly. Duracho's going to be able to Sunder, he's going to be able to Satanic, Lifesteal.
Some push going here. They'll try to use this Aegis as long as possible, 90 seconds on it.
They'll TP back. But yeah, very interested to see what Mickey and Zai do set along as their next items. Considering a lot of different things, Mickey queuing up the BKB, due to the catch of Celery's Static Storms.
Duracho, get deep here. Spot him. But they're actually potentially catching him. Look at Boxy and Nisha.
Around from Boxy and Nisha.
This could be a massive kill. He probably gets this real. That is.
They were sort of questioning that themselves. That maybe questioning a bit too much here. Now they'll start to turn back in on this with Nisha getting the chains off.
He's in trouble.
He's completely on his own.
He's literally fighting everyone.
I mean, he kind of nearly put down Boxy with it. Chain Frost, he takes Chain Frost, an Omni Slash, a Lasso. It does the job. They do kill him.
I mean, that's the Duracho death though. That's the one a game that he gets.
And that's always part of the winning formula.
It's true.
That's the real concern there for Liquid. They're like, like, all right, okay, we just killed Duracho in a bit of an awkward spot. What happens next? Well, considering the track record, we probably lose. So we'll see if anything different happens this time. But yeah, I think you were right. You could definitely see at the start the Liquid like, oh, hang on.
Wait, what? This is real. Like, Boxy hesitated for a second there.
He was sort of walking away. He was like, Nisha, what are you doing? He was like, oh, you got the real dude.
A big kill though. They're gonna get tier 2 bottom. So that's actually really, really nice for Liquid. And Mickey, he has committed for the BKB. So going the safer route rather than going for damage. So
all right, BKB and then queuing back up the Ags.
We definitely saw the, bit of a difficulty to bring down this Terrorblade. There's 4 heroes hitting him, and he almost killed
3 ultimates.
I almost killed somebody.
He did, yeah. Boxy was looking to stay alive.
Yep.
And that was without him having this next big item finish. He's very, very close to. Just needs the sword for the Satanic.
Blink Dagger done on Ace. Aegis has timed out. Gaming, see if they look to strike with that timing here. I think it's when Duracho probably has the Satanic that they might look for an engagement. How many Wisdom Runes has actually Duracho gotten? I think he's gotten, I know at least 2, but I think he maybe have gotten even a 3rd one. He's been grabbing most of them this game since he's playing on the left Ancients.
I mean, regardless, Mickey, he's the one that's easily 2.5 levels ahead.
Above. He's got the talent.
Super high level Jug.
Yep, he's got the Blade Dance talent now.
I mean, this is going to be very important for standing his ground against the Terrorblade in the middle of the fight. If he's able to get those Blade Dance life steal procs.
Even versus the Timber Saw in some situations too, if he's able to just stand there and auto-attack, it would make the difference. Quinn is just still super farmed though. Continued to be neck and neck with a Timber and a Jug. Still getting his absurd scaling. He's got the 20 talent too. This talent is crazy. I don't know why this talent is 20% magic. Why? Why is this?
Yeah, very, very close having the Shiva's got until that was just 800 gold away.
And then they're probably, I was checking to see if anyone's going for like any Lotus Orbs or anything like that, because it's a pretty value game versus the Bat, versus the Jug and everything, if they do want to go down that route. But
I mean, Celery's got to build for himself, right? You're going to disrupt, you go the Ag and
you have Darkseer on your team. If you have Darkseer, it's like a 5x more than you want to go for it.
Now, how far is he in on those? He's got the goal to be about halfway through his Agnums right now.
Playing around the power rune here, Duracho camping it. I didn't see which one is the next one that can come up. It's an illusion. Never the worst one by any means.
I mean, it's definitely going to make Quinn that a little bit harder to catch and kill. Got the Hex. They got the opening happening on the first thing in the vacuum back into the wall, but still Mickey's able to put the blade through his step back the right.
Oh my god.
The Terrorblade nearly bring him down, but the healing ward's there as well as the Frost Shield. Mickey will live.
He's kind of lucky to get out. Lips.
They want to go back in on this. They smoke up here, Liquid. Maybe see if they can get some sort of way back into the fight. So I had to put the BKB there rather early. Yeah, to avoid getting caught.
Limbs caught him. That was a glyph. That's not the tier 2 glyph, just an FYI. That's the tier 3 glyph that they did end up using trying to hold this tier 2 here.
See if Gladiators can push for more there. Losing the t-shirt. So be able to get the glitch back into the head.
Oh, the remnant.
Okay, can do anything here. No, he's having to run. I mean, has got Omni Slash. They're still kind of hovering in a way that they want to get back in because Foxy has the lasso. Here comes the Omni Slash. It's going to do decent amount. Duracho. Oh my goodness, is he going to get away with that? He's going down. What?
I mean, he really wanted to save him, I guess.
He really wanted to save Celery. I mean, Celery's been having a great game. Oh, I mean, bless him. He just didn't want to see his mate die.
I mean, he wanted to do the Satanic play, but they just got on top of him.
Oh, no, well, I mean, dead on Gaming Gladiators.
A smart hit from Liquid. Patience, waiting for the meta to kind of just deteriorate down, ults being expended, and then they hit, and it's a hard one. They don't get Quinn, but they get Duracho yet again. He's 1-4.
I mean, that was a high-risk, low-reward play there from Duracho, it felt like. Either way, the fight probably not going to go too great, but he's setting himself as low as he did, taking a few bounces from the Chain Frost at the same time, just in an effort to save Celery. And I don't know if you want to save him. He's already used
everything.
This disruptor's useless. Just let him die.
That was a bit of a blunder. Look, I mean, you could watch in the fight too. Quinn is sitting on the sidelines and he's like, "What the hell is going on?"
This game's getting crazy, and definitely in a way that's favoring Liquid. They're now up to a 5k lead. Mickey continues to get bigger than ever. He will have his Ags for the next fight.
That's massive.
Off that one.
Absolutely massive. A DD rune now spawning around bottom too for the next team fight. They could have that with this Ags on the Jug. And Brochef, 90 seconds already set up around it. Huge opening here for Liquid. Just going to continue to play around the bottom side. Now 1 minute till that, and they're just going to stick around here in this area. Foxy potentially been looking for an opportunity with the lasso. Omni slashed up in 20, and Ags is coming now for Mickey too. Gaming set up in the area. They might get caught off guard with the vision. They're bringing the squad. They want to fight again. Got their meta available.
Seems like it
vacuum.
No, but it's going to be vacuum onto the screen in the middle of the wall. BKB's out. They're trying to jump over to Toby, but Toby's able to get back to safety. Immediate buyback comes in from Boxy. Nisha steps in with the BKB, but has to back away from being close towards Draco. Draco with the Metamorphosis, punching hard back at the two of them. The Chain Frost gets thrown out, but Quinn Timber chains in, takes down Insania.
Liquid's got to run, and this is going to be around Roche soon. Nisha, he's hard to see him.
But indeed, they found him. He's out of remnants. He's got nowhere else to jump. He's going to try for the slight TP. It was a good effort, but not enough units for him to continue to be slighting around to buy time for that TP to go off. As Nisha, he'll die. He's out for 70.
And that's the Roche. It's going to be up in 15 seconds. Gaming hit perfectly there. I mean, they catch me like 3-man vacuum.
All just under the ward, right?
Yep.
Liquid, they're up on the cliff. They just didn't check for it. It had full vision of them. Gaming Gladiators, they knew exactly what was coming.
I mean, they also just deleted somebody, right? Boxy died. I didn't even see his HP pool drop. He just died instantly. Quinn just got the full burst on him. And that's going to set them up now for this Roche.
Yeah, they're going to see it in a second.
Yep. They
Indeed,
kill it fast.
perfect position to go for it. Dracho, he'll head back over to help out.
Back and forth we go. An opening there from Liquid from before, and Gaming saying, no. We got our ults now in this fight. Get the big connection, and besides just getting a Roche now, Celery, Aghanim is about to be done. The wombo combo gets scarier and scarier.
Get that Philosopher's Stone back in. A little bit of gold.
He wants the right foot damage.
Yeah, he wants that.
It's because Billy removed your damage.
Oh, yeah, because... I was like, oh, this is Python. That's not got any damage.
Liquid, they're looking to strike, I guess, because everything's on cooldown.
I wants to go.
Static Storm's up.
He's going to go straight for Celery. And then the Ogre Seal time for Celery jumps off the side into the ladder. They get rid of the drop, so without the drop being able to get a ultimate off. Dracho, he's taking pretty much a full omni slash between himself and the illusion. Getting pretty low hit, 3-man vacuum into the ball. Dracho attempting to heal up with the Satanic. They kept popping the BKBs, moved it on towards Ace. They're taking out the Darks here. Double buybacks coming out from the Gaming Gladiators. Who's the ball?
They're on Celery again.
He's untouchable. They can't kill Quinn. Celery this time. Able to get the Static still on Nisha with the BKB. Another slide of fist. He's cut down Ace and he's cut down for a second time. The Duracho Quinn still standing strong. In with the slashes. Duracho
Big bomb.
second. They still haven't been able to take the terribly down the once. They will.
How is he alive?
He's healing up. He's healing up. Now he's gone. But he's going to be back for a second life. And he does still have Satanic Victor pop.
It's got 5 heroes.
Quinn's going to come back in and help out. He's looking back over towards him. Dracho caught by the fear. Be able to survive against the 4 of them. Meta, but he's gone. They've got the damage. Quinn, he tries to bail out of here with the TP and he'll manage to escape.
What a fight from Liquid.
Liquid. You see how low some of them got. Zai getting as low as ever in that fight, but they will take it.
I mean, playing around cooldowns, right? They're like, they don't have meta, they don't have Static Storm at the start of the fight. Actually, Static was up, but Zai, he got on top of Celery. They're starting to get the attention onto these supports, and they had all the numbers there. They had all 5 heroes for the entire fight for this Gaming.
I mean, as you said as well, the end of that fight, Metamorphosis being
used the
popped
meta.
by Duracho. Sure, he'll be back up in 45, but it's nearly 2 minutes. He's going to be able to offer to the defense with his Metamorphosis. This is a huge window for Liquid to get massive damage done to the base.
This is likely 1 Rax, 1 set.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Addressing the supports there this time around. Liquid, great identification of the fight, especially, I mean, Zai, he really just pushed the limits onto getting on top of Celery.
Getting out as low as he was. Able to survive through that.
I mean, they all kind of did, right? Boxy only dropped at the very end of everything there.
He's trying to do what he can to push Mickey back, but Mickey does not really care at all. Able to take the melee racks, TP's out, they'll try and time the glimpse.
Wait a minute. I was wondering, actually, Boxy, it was not actually, I was like, Boxy lived during the fight. He died to mines, actually, going toward the Wisdom Rune, it looks like. Okay. I was wondering, I was like, wait a minute, Boxy was alive. What did I miss?
12k lead now. Melee racks gone. Setting themselves up to be in a great spot here in this game 1.
If they fight around the cooldowns like that, they're definitely in a good positioning here. Just have to watch out when everything is up, when meta is up, when Static Storm. But if they get the jump, if they find these pesky backline supports, we can see how much success they can have. Sania is actually getting quite farmed now too. He's just been kind of chilling. Somehow he hasn't died as much.
What's he going to treat himself to? He's going to go for the Wind Waker.
Ooh, that's the way to save versus the Ag Static Storm. He switched it to the Ag, so I was going to say that's one of the few ways that you can actually kind of protect.
I mean, Ags is also pretty cool. We don't really see the Ags list, do we?
No.
I mean, to the point where is he actually going to go for the Ags, or do you think he's going to change it?
It's a black hole. You know?
I mean, it can be pretty awesome.
You usually want some type of cast range with it, so I'm clicking around. I'm like, it's 37 minutes, maybe they can get to.
They're giving themselves a little bit of team fight of their own if he's able to sit there and grab them all.
It would be really nice, especially with the jug, right? With the Battle
With
Fury,
the Battle
plus
Fury Omni
Swift
Slash,
Flash
yeah.
and everything.
And with 4K gold as well to sort of consider where he wants to go next. I mean, probably, getting rid of the treads, putting in like a Swift Blink, do you think, for Mickey? Or do you look at sort of swallowing the Aghanims and maybe now
Maybe the MKB, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, the thing is, they haven't really needed it, right?
They haven't.
They kill off everyone else so quickly that the game's not quite at a point where Duracho can 1v5, right?
Yeah,
They
maybe
kill
he's thinking
everyone
they
else.
don't need it.
They kill Duracho regardless of the fact that he has this butterfly. It doesn't seem to matter at all.
I think eventually you would want it. So, I mean, we'll see. Because, again, he just continues.
He's
got to queue
He's going to go yes.
I think that's probably the best one.
Yeah, and then at that point, then you're going to have this level 25 jug. MKB, I mean, Duracho's already been struggling in his team fights. When Mickey turns up now, he's going to completely destroy him. Yeah. He's that far ahead.
Quinn is still 10-0-4 somehow.
Quinn's trying his
still
best.
a menace, but he can't solo carry. He needs his TB to help him out. Even though his Darkseer is doing some good team fight stuff, they need the TB's damage.
Yeah. If his team fall around him, you know, the base, it's also going to fall around him, right? This might be a game where Quinn never dies, but it definitely still could be a game that Quinn can lose. Crazy stuff there. Great opening to this best of 5 series.
Probably the perfect kind of first game we could ask for. 21-21. Not the most kill packed in the early game, but things have definitely accelerated playing around all these cooldowns, and you can see Liquid just really emphasizing, get on the supports, wait for meta to kind of go down here, or wait to fight till meta's down and wait till Static Storm. Really playing nicely around those cooldowns in those last 2 team fights in particular.
And the thing is, with it being Gaming Gladiators, despite the fact that Liquid have taken those last few fights as well as they have done, you can never count Gaming Gladiators out. It doesn't matter that they're a little bit behind or they had a few bad fights. Something about this team, they can find themselves, they find their ways out of very tough positions, very tough spots.
Especially because there's a Darkseer
and Static Storm
coming up. So
they get slowed down a bit off that last fight, right? So still, about 360 gold.
And they did, I believe, both the supports bought back, right? So that is the other scare for Gaming Gladiators. If these supports die at the start of the fights, could be some problems. And I'm seeing Die, he's got a Hex now, I believe, finished up too. So talk about getting on this Disruptor.
It really is, yeah. If they find Celery, that's going to break a huge potential of the combo that Gaming Gladiators want to be trying to land to get back in on this.
Hello, everybody.
Last few fights.
A lovely crowd.
Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to all you guys and girls out there enjoying the lovely weather we're having today here.
We got very good weather.
Perfect stuff. Yeah. The sun is out here for this grand finals. See if we have any word on the reason for the pause.
I didn't see one.
Not at the moment. I hope things are good. It's on to a very exciting point in this game. It's just going to be a question if Liquid can take it to the next spot. I mean, in terms of
honestly, I really
Roshan, I did of course just see that Aegis get lost on Duracho,
and the Cheese was used too.
Very freshly picked up. So 5 minutes until potential Roche.
I like watching the lines on the map and seeing if they actually mean anything when pauses like this get too long. Everyone just starts drawing random stuff. Liquid, I imagine they want to look to play around their vision that they do have bottom, though. That's probably the easiest thing they can do. Or look to get maybe some information on the left side. They don't really have any info to look for Duracho over there. Duracho, I mean, I think he's starting to feel perhaps some of this Frost Shield pressure, too. He is going to be going down Nullifier route, so... I mean, it is annoying. This damage reduction is pretty absurd. It's 70% when Xenia does throw it, so we're definitely seeing the reasoning want too much. And even more discussion. And this is where the real kind of nerd breakdown. They're just switching up items like crazy, what they want to put, what they want to go for next. Very nice.
Is there anything that you're surprised that neither team has picked up in the situation? Like anything that one of these squads is lacking? More
Gaming not having Lotus on Ace. I think he had Aeon just queued up and now he's queuing up Lotus. I was saying the Lotus earlier just because he's playing versus, you're playing versus like the Chains, the Omni Slash, the Bat Rider Lasso and stuff like that. It's a very, very value Lotus game, so probably gonna go for that next. Liquid with some momentum here. Big momentum. And Sanya now has Mjolnir queued up. Yeah, he knows we're doing. They know we're checking the items.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to say, I don't think I've ever really... Have we ever seen any of these pro teams get the Aghanims lit online?
You know, it's nice to let you farm and let you push out waves. You actually just click Sinister Gaze and it one-shots the wave. Doing that damage on creeps.
Are there any crazy talents that do anything for spell? Not really, right?
He already has
got it right. Got the extra duration. Is there anything that's going to affect it?
I mean, the other one is, of course, the Chain Frost bounces.
I mean, sure, that's the fun.
Because then you can cast spells while you're Sinister Gaze, while you're doing it, so you can get that crazy kind of setup there.
So in theory, you could, well, if you get like a refresher, you send out 2 and you have double the duration of the air as soon as it gets grabbing all 5.
He's a 5.
Team one.
He's a 5 lich.
Yeah, no, well, it's early days. Early days. 20 minutes to go. Potentially in this game.
That is true. We
come out from Insania.
We have had, after not having, I think, at the last 2 tournaments or something, I don't think we had any games that breached 100 minutes. We had 2 in this.
Something about this tournament and yeah, the position that the patch, I guess, and the sort of read the players have on the patches is that has allowed for that. Well, here we go.
Yeah, and we get a, I think, is that a 34?
Is that a road cap time that Sally's offering up to the team?
I already know what that's from. Maybe it's a fake timer, because I don't think that is the road timer. I don't even know, actually.
Okay, and as soon as
no, it is.
Insania just dies to the Tormentor. All right, well, hey, who caused that? That was Zai, I think, was it? Well, I guess the rest of the team, they just all started hitting it and Insania dies. All right.
That's what you get for getting focused too much on deciding what I'm going to buy.
I think you're right. That's just a random time that Insania, that Celery put right. He's messing with them. That was early though. I don't know. 34-16. See what it means.
That Celery, Aghanim's coming out. How many ninja gears? Let's take a look. I'm always checking this item because this is the most broken item of the tournament, it feels like, once you get to these later stages for these initiations. Because vision and catch is kind of everything. So Boxy, he's got ninja gear. He's got ninja gear on Mickey. I don't believe I saw any just... Lotus is done pretty much here on
good with his ancients and such, right?
This is a pretty big item, honestly. If you're able to get some like really nice reflections, get some protection even onto something like Duracho or onto these, these squishy backlines. See what type of fight we get. Will we get the Wombo combo from Gaming Gladiators? Will we get Liquid getting on top of the supports? Let's see. Ace, he takes the Martyr's Blade.
Super tanky.
He is. And he can redirect quite a bit of damage too to protect his teammates. That's actually cool. Very tough to tell when it gets activated. I'll do my best to be looking at it. Up level 25 now on Mickey. Gem and is actually like
Lucky.
Dagger, he has to be like right behind Quinn for the catch.
Zai, they've put the link with Quinn, he's in with the Shiva's Guard in the hex. Fire out of the side, pops across the beacon, he's going to try and go over Wolf Dredger. Now they look at the backline, jump off Phoenicia's been able to find Celery, straight over towards the Disrupt. He's got the chains, but Celery's able to get the Glimmer Cape off. On these stacks, he's there over towards Ace, but Ace is still alive. Celery's able to get the Static Storm down. They managed
Storm's on two.
Nisha, he's also caught in the edge of it as well. Dredger's still fighting fifth, the hex is down, and Nisha, he's dead. 3 gone on Liquid.
It took too long. They took way too long to get Celery.
You know, Nisha sort of went all in on it, but I think sort of around the Glimmer Cape and such, they just didn't have the detention to finish him off in time. He gets the ult out, and that Static Storm, it secures them the 2 big ones in particular. Mickey and Nisha gone. As I mentioned before that fight, Nisha, he spent up. He does not have buyback. Dratcher and the rest of the remaining survivors on Gaming Gladiators, they can go straight for the high ground push.
I mean, they're pushing mid and they're pushing bottom. Liquid has to buy back at least on the Lich. They probably are going to have to buy back even on Mickey unless they just want to sacrifice 2 sets here.
And there's Insania's buyback. Because throughout this, Insania never spent his money. He was sitting about sort of 3,500 and now he's gone back down to 2.7k. Never spent anything. Got him with a hex again. I mean, Insania's trying to force him back to base, but they catch him. They killed the 2 of them. Neither of them with buyback available as well. This is going to be a huge opening for Gaming Gladiators to take at least 1 set of reps, probably 2, maybe even start to threaten the game as well.
What a fight from Gaming. Only one hero was able to get to the backlines to try to go for Celery, and it wasn't enough. And look how much they might actually just lose everything here.
They might.
Mick is trying to hold his buyback.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see with the money Zai, he's 170 gold short of his buyback. Sania, of course, just brought back. The tier 4's exposed. They've got this little bit of time in the glyph.
Oh, Daracho wants to end. He buys a full refresher. He wants his meta back up. He wants to get the push.
He wants to at least get the megas.
At least megas.
Because I don't think they'll be able to quite end unless they can kill these heroes off again, because we're going to see both Mickey and Nisha back in action, so that they'll be able to fight with the three of them. It's still going to be a 3 versus 5, so it won't be easy, but there's a little chance that Liquid may be able to push back Gaming Gladiators once more.
It's mega style already.
It's a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to use his meta. 15
They're
seconds.
going to play it. They'll back off Gaming Gladiators.
They got all they needed. Jesus, Quinn.
That was a big push, big play.
He has not died this game. He has been the leader of the charge for his team to protect his buddies. Level 25 was hitting that last fight too, so he is pretty much a carry also on this Timber Saw, as he already has been. And the game's totally broken now for Liquid. They have to they have to get Roche, and they have to have some insane next couple fights. And they have to find Celery, but not only just once now, because the buyback's back for him, so he can just buy back and join the fight too. It's got ever more complicated now for the side of Liquid. Just up one little connection there.
Radiant. Saying I believe the Aghanim's dream was dead with this money that he's been losing so just by the Ether Lens.
Oh, that feels bad, right? He had what, almost
he had about 4k gold.
4k gold, got killed by his team, going for the Tormentor, dies afterwards, has to buy back.
He's lost a lot.
Lose everything, as now it's Roche. This is a full Aghanims too.
And we're actually going to see, I guess, with regards to the fact that Nisha doesn't have buyback, because like, I'll just go all in as
he has to.
So he spends 75 DMKB, and Fiddle going his availability to buy back in the next fight.
He has to. They have megas coming in. You have to go all in.
Who are we giving the axe to here? On
just give it to Daracho. Why not?
Yep.
He's got the double Terror Wave, right? He used meta for the fight, so it's a really, really strong one once you do get this timing.
Can Liquid do anything against these megas? Against this Aegis cheese push that Gaming Gladiators, they're going to look to end this game with.
Aegis cheese push, Quinn just showing that he is unkillable this game. And I guess I didn't get to really see if... I mean, it's likely the auras and everything, of course, saving Celery in that last kind of fight. I didn't actually get to see if Ace popped like Martyrdom and absorbed anything there too. But it was the Glimmer Cake in particular. This having... Gotta have that detection somehow to get into the backline. I didn't see where Boxy was in that bottom fight initially. Levels more difficult here for the side of Team Liquid. Playing the eco game, patiently getting the rest of the farm on the map, waiting for their buybacks. Close for all of them. Daracho's gonna have his 1200 for Quinn. Creeps are coming in. Here come the megas.
Celery can treat itself to a blink as well soon. And you know, one blink Ag Static Storm, that will be the move to close the game. You can catch one of these big cores of Liquid.
And they have double hex too, so it's like be able to get those front. Actually, triple hex, apologies. Ace also have ones. So many different forms of catch. Liquid only has the 2 force steps till he's disengaged in the initial go, but harder versus the blink if Celery does get it.
Trying to leave the base. Boxy maybe find Tofu farming the neutral camps with
bombs. They scout him. He's got a shield where he wants to run in.
He can just go straight in. He wants to. I mean, there's nothing that's going to threaten Quinn right now. Unkillable right until the end, it seems. So what do we can make of this? The creeps are building up.
And Mickey knows he can't show. He has to stay under Ninja here, because they could just jump him and full kill him. He's now picked up for Celery.
Yeah. Him and Ace can end it if they get the correct jump. And Ace gonna start things. He's able to get in there, get the opening hex on the Nisha. Nisha have to go anywhere to bail them out. There's no
the Terror Wave.
He's gone. Boxy committed with the BKB lasso on the Celery. They desperately want to kill this disruptor. They've got the full-on hex this time. So will manage to stop the Ecstatic Storm, but there's the buyback. Celery's gonna look to rejoin the team. Nisha will buy back as well. They're trying to stand their ground against Daracho. Daracho getting 3 loads. There was some to Ace. Gets his health back up to pretty much full. Turns to take down Zai. Zai's out without buyback. Over the point for Nisha on takes first. He's back up to full HP. Nisha cannot kill off the Darks here. Nikkei's got a Blade Fury back to base. Nisha realizes back to waste as well. Nikkei, he's going to get dragged back underneath Daracho. He's out. No buyback on him. Hex on to Nisha. Gaming Gladiators with the full cleanup of the Ag Static Storm locks down the Ember. GG is called. Gaming Gladiators Gladiators will take this game one.
They just keep on doing it, Owen. How do they just keep on doing it? This one, Liquid, what, 12k
Feeling like they had a chance.
One fight is all it takes. This Disruptor, he just gets Static Storm off there. You don't finish him off 100-0. And that was actually devastating because they lost literally everything. They got megaed, and from there, gaming, a huge injection of gold.
makes the game really, really difficult to play. And gaming, once again, they've chosen to have like 2 of the cores that can occupy the side lanes, keep pushing out the waves to deal with this map presence from IO Lash. And also Terrorblade, you're going to build a Skadi, so eventually you're going to be really good at dealing with the Lash in the team fight.
It's important to note, though, Scotty no longer going through BKB, so it actually gives Lesh a play against the Scotty Terrorblade. In the past, I think that was actually what caused Lesh the most issues.
So you think you should buy Scotty right now? Because normally you don't want to get...
I'm saying, I don't even... I'm sure you probably still do, because it reduces the healing on IO if like you hit IO with it too, so...
No, what I meant is you are saying that the Lesh should buy a BKB to deal with the Scotty.
Yeah, you can buy it, because you're also against Timbersaw, so I think like 4th item BKB totally makes sense. So there's probably going to be a window where Terrorblade has Scotty and Lesh doesn't quite have his BKB just yet. But at the end of the day, like what makes Lesh so strong right now is the fact that BKB is only 50% magic resistance. Like they also buffed this hero. You know, Leshrac had his 1 or 2 months where we didn't see him in competitive. And if you read 7.33D, there's just 4 buffs for Leshrac. Most notably for me, the 20 damage on level 1 Lightning Storm. All of a sudden, he's able to secure CS at level 1 in virtually every matchup.
Yeah. His problem hasn't been laning. He's always looked really good in the lane because all the buffs that he has received. His issue has been farming and keeping his mana up. And I think teams are realizing that IO, Leshrac, kind of fixes that problem. And when you do pick this combination together here, like, you make IO have a purpose. When normally you just won't see this here. I think the only time you're picking IO is when it's with this Leshrac. And I do like the fact that Gaming Gladiators do decide to go for this Terrorblade right away. Might not be as good with the Scotty against the BKB, but most of the time you don't want to be forced into that early BKB super early on, and most people be like, hey, Illusion Hero versus Leshrac. I don't think that's how TV works at all. I think he's one of those heroes that's much like Leshrac. You just want to get in there, and being a hero like TB gives you that damage to burst. Timbersaw might help that a lot here. So they picked 2 hard-punching heroes right away from Gaming Gladiators. I think their objective is to not let this Lesh be able to run in, because if he dies right away, then this combo won't work.
So the Lesh is definitely going to need like heroes that can set up the fight for him. So he's going to need like some Clockwork, Spirit Breaker kind of heroes. Spirit Breaker plus IO is definitely something that's very classic. Like you want a support that can always threaten with the relocate. That's something that comes to my mind right away. They've removed the Enchantress, they've removed Disruptor, the heroes.
Darkseer Spirit Breaker, maybe? It's looking like a really good Darkseer.
Yeah, Darkseer Spirit Breaker could be something that is going to work really well. It's very good against
Diamond Gladiators
turn the relocate. But they like to go for the Rubik. A lot of teams, they just like Rubik against the Timber. Still, all the spells that you steal is really good against the Timber.
I think it's somewhat of a deny pick too, because Rubik's really good against Lesh, and Tofu is no stranger to the hero. I think what is important to note about Liquid picking IO Lesh here is they've picked it twice this tournament, but Gaming Gladiators was the only team that's first rounded it. Liquid was always taking it in the second round when they were on first pick. So it's basically them saying, like, we have to take this now or never, because otherwise we're going to have to ban it up against you. It's just a lot of respect to a combination that Gaming Gladiators is 6-1 right now on at this tournament. Only team they lost to was EG, who actually only had like 2 wins in the entire group phase. I'll have to imagine something wonky happened in that game. But I mean, this is all about the lanes now. It's like you got to secure your Timbersaw, you have to secure his like mid-game momentum, you have to secure the Terrorblade's early game. Undying's the best hero to do that for sure.
And on top of that, because you're playing against a relocate, so you want to then make your team group up together at some point so you don't get ganked, and Undying is actually perfect for that. Like you mentioned, you're going to win the lane with Undying, and then you're also going to be able to group up together to get Roche. I've seen like how Gladiators won one of the games really quickly with Terrorblade, TA. I think with the Undying and the Timber, they could easily replicate that game. You push really early, you hit your timing, and you just don't give the IO a chance to farm the map and split you up.
I've seen time and time again, the best way that you can deal with IO Lesh is make it feel like you're not invincible. And this strategy goes 1 or 2 ways. The first way is you just can't deal with this Leshrac. He runs around and kills everyone and kills all your base and you lose the game. Or he runs in, feels like he can die, and then you just lose. And running into an Undying, Timbersaw, and Terrorblade is a good approach, I think, for taking this game. I still do think that if Liquid managed to find some other hero, specifically the Darkseer, in a game like this, that could be very, very potent.
But it just makes me even more confused why pick the Rubik. Because the Rubik isn't helping Lesh survive, there's no buffs being provided, and really the Timber's the only hero that you cared about stealing spells, at least before the Lion got
10
picked.
seconds
Now that
remaining.
Lion's on the board, somehow Rubik seems more viable.
I think you underlook a little bit sometimes. A lot of these teams
5 seconds
value
remaining.
Rubik games
Diamond
terribly just for the
Gladiators,
fatal
turn
damage
to
reduction.
dark.
Against these type of heroes, those are still going to go for the Darkseer. I think that was their best possible pick.
Yeah, hard counter against TB, the illusion. Any hero that spawns a good illusion, Darkseer has always been good against them. What's also important to note is heroes that clear the wave melee range, because generally
10
speaking,
seconds
illusions on
remaining.
Terrorblade will clear a wave for free from like 10-15 minutes into the game, but
5
against Ion
seconds
Shell, it'll
remaining.
generally kill them faster than the illusion
Team
itself will kill the wave.
Liquid's
So
turn to
it's kind
bat.
of like the tug of war, but in reverse. You know, you're pushing. Like who can push the lanes a little bit harder, and now you've kind of nullified the Terrorblade doing that, at least in one half of the map.
Yeah, the supports also can't really do much to the
Diamond
Darkseer
Gladiators,
dying,
turn to
and
ban.
you're gonna build the mech and pipe, which I think when you have a Lash on your team, the Lash really wants the offlaner to buy all the aura items to buff him, so you ball together and you feel like you're really, really strong, you know? Like Lash is a hero that you don't want your other cores to play too much for themselves, you want them to really focus on
10 seconds
Lash.
remaining.
Is there like any world where he actually goes like the Vanguard Ags build? Just against
5
like,
seconds
you know,
remaining.
it's not very effective against Timbersaw to go these aura items because he's pure damage through and through. I was just wondering, like, is he potentially the setup for relocate and team fights and all that kind of stuff on the side?
With the axe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you could do that, but I feel like you still need to play for the Lash. I think in the team fights, there's still like a good
Team
amount of like magic
Liquid's
damage
turn
from
to
the
bat.
Lion, and Crimson is definitely still pretty useful against the Terrorblade.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather see the Greaves and Crimson in a game like this. And eventually you're going to get the Ags, right? But I think if you do it really early in this game, it might be hard to just get in there and punch the TB with a Lion
10
in the game.
seconds
I always
remaining.
wonder when you have a hero like Io and Darkseer, who goes the Greaves? Like, maybe Greaves
5
will
seconds
come out on
remaining.
Io, or maybe he'll go Holy Locket.
Yeah, you can get Locket.
I
Yeah.
think Locket's like you go Locket and I think Glimmer Cape if you have a Greaves Fire, and then you hit this crazy timing, right? Where
Gladiators, turn to
Greaves,
pick.
Locket's on Lion, you got a Glimmer Cape, maybe a Force Staff on the Rubik, and that's my favorite style of Dota right now, and it's something that Gaming usually wins with. In the last game, Gaming had more auras as well. They itemized for it. They had the Greaves as well, and the Pipe. In this particular game, they're probably going to have something similar, picking all these heroes
10
that can heal and
seconds
ball
remaining.
up, but Liquid are matching them blow to blow with having these high tempo heroes.
And not to
5
mention, the
seconds
Rubik can also
remaining.
get a Solar Crest for the Lash, so the Lash feels like a Superman in front of the team fight. And Gaming, they have to try to figure out whether they have enough damage right now to deal with the Lash, or they're gonna pick like maybe they pick like another offlane hero to buy the aura items to match the Darkseer.
I really like the Wind Ranger Ben, to be honest. Like, it's one of the few heroes that no matter how many items the Timbersaw or the Leshrac has, no matter how many auras the Darkseer has, she can focus fire you down if disabled. And they do lack a bit of single target damage on Gaming. They have like the initial 1500 damage from like the Timbersaw spells and the Lion Finger, but if Lesh does manage to get his health reset, these healing items you guys mentioned, they don't have too much to finish him off.
It also means that by banning out Wind, Liquid are opening the possibility for Timbersaw being offlane as opposed to just Quinn. But I'm assuming we're going to see an ace hero.
I'm
picked
still
here.
big on Beastmaster in these type of games. Like, I would have wanted to see it last game too, where it's just this kill one guy. Like, and that's what you need to do right now. It's a lot
Team
of damage, it's an
Liquid's
aura.
turn to
What are they
pick.
showing there? Tango.
Duracio's feeling it.
Yeah, it's not even his hero. He's feeling it real hard.
Whose hero is it? Is it
Quinn.
Quinn's?
Certainly Quinn's. Yeah.
Okay, so offlane Timbersaw. Just saying, Shadow Fiend's still in the pool for Liquid if you want a tempo carry that can do
10
well against
seconds
Timbersaw.
remaining.
It's not
Five
great for
seconds
Terrorblade, but it is good versus Timber. I think it could work. What carry would you want here then?
I was gonna say I feel like I don't love it, but I would want the Luna. I think for Team Liquid the way they play.
Luna.
Yeah, I think they're gonna prioritize the tempo again. I'm not saying I like it as like I'm super excited if they pick it, but
They have played it. It is a possibility. It is high tempo. I think I would like the Shadow Fiend. I think
Shadow
if
Fiend's good too.
Timber is ever in a situation where he just can't lane, this hero is one of those heroes that just, he's either amazing, you can't kill him, and he's killing you, as we saw last game, or what does he add at that point if he can't do the damage and he's like trying to catch up? Not much. The good thing that Timber does have, you can always fall back to doing stacks, but think that puts you in a pretty good position if you can force them back in that way. And Quinn, he's picking up his Pango. This is one of the heroes that does pretty well versus Lesh throughout the game. If you get level 6 by the time Lesh gets level 6, you can just fight him head on with the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't have to worry about all that magical damage. And he deals with the wall illusions too, to some degree too.
Another alternative, Drow Ranger, also available as a anti-TB hero.
I don't love it against Timbersaw. It's like better later if Timber's mid, but in the lane, you eventually can't hit him. He just has a Vanguard. It's really rough on Drow unless you can punish them like super early levels. And since he's got a Rubik or an IO5, I'm not like too keen on.
She's also pretty similar to Lash in the game. Like I feel like they are very similar heroes of what they want to do. I think that they need like a melee hero that can run in, like the Lash. Maybe a bit of Seduxia, Ion Shell, just run in front. Ideally like a lane winner as well to deal with.
You may now select your heroes.
Oh, so
whoa! Carry Lesh?
Yeah, carry Lesh.
I'm actually down for that. I don't even know why I didn't think of this. Like, Lesh is really nice against Timbersaw. They picked it originally for mid, and then Timbersaw is now off lane.
Yeah, there's so many good options of the carry left. Most of it are banned, so it actually kind of makes sense that they're trying to play a very, very fast tempo game, and this hero can really abuse the Ion Shell. The lineup's incredibly fast. It deals well with the illusions.
And he's going to step all over a Pango mid.
Apparently, the ult cancels roll. Like, the second you use Primal Beast ult on Pango win and roll, it doesn't just stun him through BKB, but it also ends it.
Get out of there, right? Get out of there.
Yeah,
slams him out of the roll.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, on the other hand, this gives them a really, really sharp timing with the draft. You know, they don't really have much room for error. Everything has to go perfectly from the lane towards minute 20 to give themselves a chance to win this game.
Yeah, there's one guy I really resonated with, Pale Horse, that really liked playing this carry Lesh, and he was a big fan of it, and I myself am as well. I think this is a really cool pick by Team Liquid here. I'm super excited for this draft. Even if it doesn't work, I think it's a really unique and creative way to address what Gaiman's doing with their last picks.
Yep, it's definitely different. I think it has the potential to work, but if it does manage to get that late game scenario and can't actually find this Pango and cancel his role, he's going to clear all the illusions. Same with the line with the shard, and Dirachi will probably carry the game the way I see it.
Yeah, eventually Liquid's gonna run out of damage and they can't really deal with the Terror. But before minute 20, they'll have like a really good opportunity to run over the map if they get good lanes. Use the runes with the Primal Beast, set up kills, and the Lesh is gonna snowball. That's what they are gonna hope to happen in the game.
So does Carry Lesh ever leave his lane, or is he just gonna try to?
Yeah, you do the same build as you do as a mid. Like, you're just straight up rushing the Bloodstone. It's only possible with IO. Like, you can't do this here otherwise because you have health issues without the bottle.
So does it leave us at a standoff where Timber and Lesh are just staring at each other in the side?
Once Lesh gets 6, he can actually bully you out. Get rid of the Timber outside of the lane. But if it really comes down to who hits 6 first in that lane.
Okay. Let's get ready for game number 2 of this grand finals, everybody. It's time for OD Pixel and Fogged.
I'm actually
Quid and Gaming Gladiators. Fog, this time round, we're getting sort of the adaptation from Liquid by looks of it during the draft to take this Lesh to the safe lane, at least have Mickey play it this time round. But what does this sort of say to you from what Liquid's going to go for this game, and do you think it's going to be enough to be able to take a game off Gaming Gladiators?
I mean, it just shows we're all in. You know, this is all early game dominance, all early game to be able to pressure and shut down Gaming to prevent them from getting to that late game status with this Timber, with this Tower Blade that we saw them do last time. Let's say it's going to be a lot of execution and playing clean. Panel talked about it pretty much ad nauseum of how this is a lineup that can really, like, if it doesn't hit timings, really fall behind. Yep. So I think we're going to have to watch it some like very crisp, clean play, but they are set up for that. This Primal last pick actually addresses kind of all 3 cores in a way pretty nicely. So we'll see what type of game Nisha has, and let's hope he doesn't go Blade Mill Vanguard
30 seconds to battle.
the other day.
Yeah, what's your sort of approach he has this time round? Ready? The trees will be spotted out by Insania and Mickey.
Yeah. And yeah, we have a lot of cool little back and forth things that we see that Gaming did go for, because the Darkseer pick, it seems like they almost knew. You know, they probably expected it to be coming because they picked this TB so early. They didn't ban it out. Very good answer. So they're going to take the Lion, so they'll have the Mana Drain, and then they're going to have the Pango also to deal with that wall illusion.
The
see how it all ends up going.
See the start, Tofu. Set up stun on Insania. Be able to tether across. They'll throw the blood grenade out. Stun's going to hold back Celery. Insania should be fine.
Little painful start like that, though.
Taking quite a bit of a hit there from that attempt of Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah,
Banter Runes will just go 2 apiece here.
IO always has to be careful a bit further.
Oh, yes.
Even more damage.
They are body blocking him off a little bit from the creep wave. Trying to get Tofu in range for the stun.
I mean,
Okay, he's back under the tower.
They're starting them low. That's the important thing here in this lane. Tofu might actually just die here.
They just get blood grenaded.
Whoopsie.
And indeed, he stuck around a little too long to throw out that.
Oh.
My, wait, what?
What?
The stick charges?
The high five?
Nah, they still got him. First blood. Go the way of Mickey.
Will be gone.
That was almost like, oh no, we didn't go for him. They're actually going to get the Observer Ward too. Okay. Stick charges also. 6 wand charges onto him. IO does have to be careful of this game of being burst down. There is a lot of different ways to just delete this IO in mid-game. Timber saw one of the better answers throughout all history. In fact, actually now it's universal, of course, on the IO, but still kind of similar, the damage that the Whirling Death can do versus... To be careful on Insania for position.
Radiant's
courier
courier has been killed.
Tofu?
Did he get the delivery?
He got the,
He got the
yeah, got, so he's just got the fresh set of tangos.
And that's, I'm going to be looking forward to see how this mid matchup and everything goes down. Quinn was an absolute menace last game, did not die. Let's see if he's going to have something similar this game. We know how Quinn's Pango can sometimes just take over games, even though it's been nerfed. But it is versus Prime.
Definitely one of those mid heroes that, yeah, can outplay a Pango, right? If you're not too careful with the swashbuckles, suddenly this Pango is, the Primal is in on top of you. Quick trample and an onslaught can be the end of you quite early on as a Pango.
Can be. The Quinn Pango. That's, you know, we'll have to see. Is he going to make those mistakes? Is he going to get caught? Is Nisha going to be able to find those opportunities? So far, I mean, Quinn having a really good time. They've hit 10-5.
Yeah, he is.
He's even bullying Nisha.
Nisha got coming out. Okay.
Impressive first few waves, though, from Quinn.
See if Nisha's able to sort of stabilize it a bit here, but really every reason to believe that Quinn could be on to the start of something good once again here in this matchup.
Bracho also getting a fair bit of denies. He has a big wave coming in under him, so we'll be able to catch up on the... But for Liquid in this game, it's really all about clean plays, fast early aggression, and really trying to dominate and take over the map early, getting these aura items so they can pressure and pressure. It has to be the name of the game for them. Unless they have some big lead, you can almost, like, it's like at 35 minutes or something. That's going to be where it perhaps gets scary if Liquid doesn't have that lead.
I mean, do Gaming Gladiators have good heroes to bring to towers and slow Liquid down, even if Liquid do get a good start in the lanes?
I mean, yeah, they definitely do. It depends on how the Timbersaw's farm is, but they also have an Undying, so yeah, I would think that they do have ways to fight around it pretty early here. And Quinn, if he has such a good early game, I mean, if he has such a good laning phase, that Rolling Thunder is very, very annoying for something like Lash and IO. Right. A little clever move there from Nisha. Takes the top bounty rune. He's actually going to TP bottom and grab this bounty rune. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think he only misses out sort of on one way. Bottom lane, Tofu, he's going to get taken down again.
Nicely done. Double 2 lightning. Super strong.
Careful trying to trade with Mickey.
They also, I believe, yeah, they did get the Healing Lotus down here. So Mickey shouldn't really die. Should have a absolutely free time on the Lesh. Insania maybe dies once here, but with the Healing Lotus, it becomes a lot more difficult for you to ever really pressure this IO Lesh lane. Lotus in the top side. Yeah, Zai, so Liquid were able to claim both Lotuses.
Watching Boxy, it's going to show up mid. If Quinn steps up, Boxy might be able to catch him by surprise.
Move. He's at least going to body the rune away from him, so Quinn, he might need a fill up or something.
So he's still got a few tangos at least to rely on. We'll have their health to stick around in the mid, but we'll have to be aware every time the Boxy goes missing from that top lane that something might be being attempted for by Liquid.
Just impressed with the denies. I mean, the animation on Pangolier is, of course, very, very good, but 8 denies. He's got an... I don't even know how many of these range creeps. I see Nisha like, trampling on it, and Quinn, I think, just walked up and snuck the deny again, I think, for the 3rd or 4th time that I saw. 2-0.
Top lane. Zai. Look for the vacuum. The surge to get away from the zombies.
Boxy.
There's a lot of zombies
try to walk
on him.
him down. Boxy could be in trouble.
More hits he can get in underneath the tower. Yeah, Boxy, he's gone. He's gone. I mean, Zai's also still very, very low, hiding in the trees. Dratch is going to see if he can try and find him. Cut the tree line.
He's on him.
He's very close, and yeah, he's going to be able to get him. The reflections back up. The last right click, actually not enough.
Not enough.
Ring of Health from the one, that will save Zai. Zai able to escape. Only just though. Dratch getting so close to nearly being able to take that Darkseer down.
So much aggression from Dyrachyo. Love that he just goes like, yeah, Boots, you're just playing versus his Dark, so you can dance around the Ion Shells, and you've got an Undying with you, so you can go these early game Boots have the strongest 5 position in the game. Primo still farming very well. See who's gonna hit 6 first. I think yeah, Quinn should be able to hit it just slightly sooner.
Yeah, got a few of those early denies, and from Nisha's side of things, he's definitely been having a bit of a helping hand from Boxy.
Yeah.
That earlier water in, and Boxy, of course, coming back from just now to refill his bottle.
They're going for him. 6 is hit.
If they have enough of the pulverize, can he escape this Quinn? Nope, cannot. Nisha, Onslaught's there, is able to knock him down before the Rolling Thunder can go off.
Great moves from Boxy.
Zane was also joining in the mid, so Liquid really piling up the pressure on this mid lane, bringing in both supports, making sure the Quinn does not have an easy time.
Yeah, Boxy, really, he's understanding, like, yeah, he dies top, and then he's like, whatever, I'm just going to stick around mid. They have kill threat, and even going to get some tower damage here with this catapult. No rotation from the early Gaming Gladiator support this time around. Usually they do make those early moves, especially around the 4 and 6 minute power run if they see an opportunity, but Liquid, faster here. Good laning start for them, 2k lead right now.
Nisha and Boxy waiting on the high ground. We have a catch. Celery stepping back over towards the top lane, lift up with the telekinesis. It's another kill for Liquid. Down bottom, Ace and Quinn, they're attempting to go for Mickey, but Mickey is able to sidestep the Rolling Thunder. Now
they turn.
Yeah, they've got to be careful. Mickey's getting fueled up by Insania. Looks like he won't have enough damage to threaten them, but at the least it's just wasted time for Quinn, as he's not able to pressure Mickey in the way that he hoped for, turning it towards the bottom.
Very ideal start here for Liquid, exactly how they want this to kind of be going here. Zai, Arcane Boots are finished, so he can keep Boxy on the map.
Dire's middle tower is
he's
under
running away
attack.
from him. Gets the Arcane Boots on him. That's going to be important for Boxy to be able to play around Nisha even more, just keep that mana pumped up. Good gaming. Looks to break their lanes a little bit here. They're going to look for a smoke to try to do something here. 3k lead already from Liquid. Good here this start.
That's absolutely what they need to be able to roll with this lineup.
Yep. All about that tempo, speed versus greed.
Can they get Ace? They get the setup stun, and he has got Celery and Tofu waiting behind him, and yeah, Nisha's going to pull back from that. Doesn't want to go charging in under the tier 1 tower.
Not with the risk versus an Undying. Bluestone can just really just ruin you right there, so yeah, I'm not going to go for it.
Dyrachyo's still kind of being able to hold his own on this top lane.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Zai and Boxy have been able to get right around the tower to really pressure him as of now. Boxy trying to get some sort of angle.
Yeah, because he's like, where's the supports? They're not playing around Dyrachyo, they're probably playing around bottom, so wants to set up for this.
They're bringing in Insania as well. Vacuum drag back into the reach of Mickey. Can they get the stun in time? Looks like they can't. Celery, he's going to be able to turn up, drop the tombstone. Dyrachyo, he's
stunned off the mark.
He's still alive. Dyrachyo's able to walk this off. An attempt there from the 4 members of Liquid, and it gets them nothing. Dyrachyo's able to walk out alive.
I mean, they got a tombstone, but that stun just whiffing Dyrachyo. I thought they would just be able to walk him down there. Slip up there from Liquid.
Radiant's bottom tower
plays
is
it cool
under
there.
attack.
Gets away.
Definitely bailed out by Celery, but Celery now, he is lingering up top. This time he should probably.
He's on his own. Tried his luck to stick around for a few more
Radiant's bottom
creeps.
tower
As
is
the
under
way it
attack.
comes in,
He gets the 2 range creep. But
back to base for him.
top.
I mean, they're looking for Dyrachyo. Nisha tried to see if he could catch Dyrachyo whilst he was jungling this area, but did not have enough damage on his own. Still got the regen rune pumping though, so it doesn't lose too much from that attempt. Straight back to the mid lane. Continue to hold the wave and make sure that there's not a chance for Quinn to start putting pressure onto his own tier 1 in the mid.
Some really good pressure here from Nisha and Boxy in particular. Keeping that speed up here.
I mean,
around the mid tower, they're thinking about it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Boxy's trying to get the wraparound onto Quinn, but Quinn's got Tofu by his side, so Tofu will manage to hold back Nisha. They're under the tier 2.
Dire's
Nisha and
top
Boxy can't
tower
look for the
is
play
under
anymore.
attack.
Look how much reaction it's causing though. Gaming is all clustered around the mid lane. Dyrachyo low. They're not really playing the lanes right now, and it's looking really nice for Liquid. Nisha even pulling the lane and maximizing. He finds himself a stack. Very nice.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Timings, and of course, joking about Blade Milbank. He is queuing up the right item. He has the BKB.
Done it. And Dyrachyo is sort of baiting a bit because he does
Dire's
have
top
Sunder.
tower is under
So
attack.
Illusion.
he's in that little bit of a
Radiant
spot in the
lost
trees. Again, 4 heroes heading up, but they won't catch or kill Dyrachyo.
And look, he
Step ahead.
to the tower. He doesn't even TP to base, so he's like, all right, I can walk into it. Little bit, but they're getting slowed down quite a bit. I mean,
And
the
they're getting
movements are still
tapped.
hurting.
Hey, Liquid, you know, with this
Dire's
pressure.
top tower
5k lead.
It is speeding up at the exact pace that Liquid will hope for when they're running this Lesh IO in the safe lane.
Power Ruin. Bottom. Quinn will be able to set that one up. Reports, the level's still definitely struggling on them. Bottom, Ace.
See if they can take him out. He's pretty beefy here with the Vanguard, and he's got plenty of 1 charges. So indeed, he'll be okay as Ace is underneath the tower. Game of Gladiators. DD room for Quinn. And the tier 1 tower also taking quite a bit of a beating. So Liquid probably look to pull more people over towards this bit. I mean, depends. I mean, if you're Liquid now, are you looking for this tier 1? Or are you still trying to make moves on this top half of the map, trying to understand direction?
I think you just hunt for heroes. You have relocate online. Yeah, I don't know how much you need to just push forward to getting this tier 1 now, because you could put yourself into a weird situation like last game where they overextend around
That's
it.
true,
They're playing into Tombstone, so I'd imagine if they can set up like a reload gank with the Primal Beast, that's probably the ideal, and they're probably going to hunt Duracho. On the flip side, Gaming, they're going to look for their own move, trying to catch. It's usually how you want to play versus those IO lineups. You hunt the IO while they're trying to set up for these relocate games. So that's exactly what they're kind of trying to do here, but here comes that reload.
Yep. Let's see if they can get him this time round. Vacuum, but Quinn, he's there with a backup, and the multiple TPs are coming in. Liquid not able to find a clean initiation that they hoped for to start this off. Duracho will get caught by big charge. Nisha able to finish him before there's any chance of a Thunder to come off. He'll turn with the pulverize as well. On towards Ace. Ace able to get the timber chain off to cut down Zai. Okay, he's trying to finish off Quinn and Ace, but he cannot do so. As Liquid, they'll lose 2 for their attempt to take down Duracho.
Guess he wasn't able to get the tether off there. It got broken somehow because he just ended up catching the 2 cores. Get the 1, and now Nisha is actually gonna get the cleanup.
All right, I mean,
that well worth it.
It does. Maybe we can look for more with Insania coming back across. He's got the control onto Ace. Ace, he's got back up though. There's the respawns coming in. Duracho's ready to rejoin the fight. Tofu,
he hit 6.
The Hex on towards Nisha. The stun as well. The burst from the finger. Tofu able to take Nisha down.
He just got 6, I think, off like a creep or something.
He's able to finish off Ace there with that final bit of burst. He tries for a very cute little TP out. He won't succeed as he does die. But some messy fights. Boxy, he'll be happy with that snipe on the way out though, taking Ace.
Supports on the side of Gaming Gladiators, though, definitely very happy. Tofu getting the cleanup. Celery, he almost has a mech after that fight. So started pretty nice there for Liquid, and then they get the 3rd kill, but then ends up being pretty good for Gaming toward the end of it there, especially since they're behind and they're getting some type of trades in this fight.
Yeah, Liquid have got to continue to grow this advantage if it starts to get sort of slowed down whatsoever by Gaming Gladiators and Duracho gets the time to farm. Definitely going to be concerns as the minutes pass.
Nice stacks to go back through though, so jumping it right back up to that 5k lead when they're able to farm them. Yeah. That was really fast TPs from Gaming. They were super ready for the relocate gank, so gotta watch out for that on Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you know, you expect Liquid to try and go looking for these kills. Gaming Gladiators, they're fully aware that that's what Liquid's going to be going for.
Insania,
they've got to be ready to set up for that.
Liquid have some big timings here already. Insania, mech's done, Mickey, Bloodstone's finished, Primal Beast, BKB very soon on the horizon, so they can keep looking to play fast and punish this, because Gaming, they're a little bit requiring like even the Lion having finger up in some of these team fights to get some burst, and those have a bit of a long especially at that level 1.
Business here, but Liquid, they'll get the tier 1 mid.
Keep that pace. Duracho again here, keep looking to accelerate things and shrink the map.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, continue to get some nice stacks.
They know exactly where Duracho is as well. The scans hit. And Amnesia, kind of setup here. It's actually Zai that opens things up with a wall drop down. They get in with the charge forward of the onslaught, the pulverize as well. And a good catch for Liquid that can allow them to keep this momentum in their favor.
They got the PB illusion too. Yeah, so they can actually tank maybe the next creep wave with, and they can keep this push going up on top. And they will still have relocate if someone does turn up. Gaming, careful how they play around the map. Duracho really struggling this game. He's level 8 so far here.
Got a lot of focus on towards him. I mean, even in the fights the Gaming Gladiators have been able to take him. It was the fight off the back that Duracho goes down at the start, with how Liquid can just... They can pretty easily focus him in the midst of these fights. Only really Tofu and maybe Quinn if he gets the Rolling Thunder off, who can kind of interrupt Liquid's attempts to just get on top and blow up the Terrorblade.
Yeah, until they have more itemization, right? Like when Celery's able to get like a shard, potentially, right? To grab allies, maybe that'll be something that'll help. But right now, Liquid, yeah, starting to get that ball rolling really nicely for themselves, pressuring lanes. And they're not over-pressuring, not like overreacting to stuff. They are getting some really good farm while they back up and wait for stuff to make almost as a lucha travel. Duracho, it's going to be a difficult game for him to stand tall, stand his ground, unless these frontliners can protect him, because they're going to get these timings so fast, they're just going to be able to run through and get on top of him. And the Darkseer, the Primal Beast, even the Lesh, can just eviscerate a Terrorblade early. As the game progresses, the TB starts to get better and better versus this Lesh rack, but early moments, it's going to be difficult for Duracho. When Diffusal's done, starting to get some timings here, Gladiators.
Yeah, they know that Gaming Gladiators were starting to approach them down on the bottom lane. Nisha and Boxy, they're in with the smoke.
Nisha pretty much invulnerable now in the next fight. BKB and a shield rune on him.
Gladiators, they're getting out of this half. of the map. They don't want to stick around for this fight that's almost certainly going to be on Liquid's terms with the way that Liquid are approaching with this two-man smoke.
This is not an
Insania.
This is not an easy fight for Gaming Gladiators to take here. Meta even used already, so Rajami is trying to just be as efficient as possible to get that farm. Gonna have to be quite an overextension on Liquid if Gaming's able to take the fight by any means. Keep giving Duracho Wisdom Rune. Same thing as last game. Top, looks like that's going to be the call from Liquid.
Yeah, that was a sell for the push.
Should be able to tank for it for this catapult to do work.
Looks like they just don't want to waste more time just chasing Gaming Gladiators around the map, because as we're seeing Gaming Gladiators, they're doing a good job of avoiding
Dire's
Liquid.
top
They're
tower
protecting
is
their
under attack.
TB area.
Dire's structures
That
are
gets popped
fortified.
immediately as Edict does. One thing for Liquid is their draft doesn't kill Rosh at the absolute. So it's not like they have it's like, oh, we have some downtime, we're just gonna go get a quick Rosh. It will take them a little bit of time. They do have some good magic damage, but of course, they don't have like an amp up, so like that Undying in
Dire's top
particular that
tower
we've seen
is under
times.
attack.
Tier 2,
Yeah, they'll let this full Gaming Gladiators. They don't have any interest in turning up the fights at this sort of stage of the game, whilst Duracho works towards his first major item, the Yasha, into the Skadi by the looks of it this game.
he needs a lot more.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle
Go from
tower
here,
is
Liquid.
under attack.
Tier 2 taken.
Keep getting some nice, good aggressive wards down so they can keep spotting where Duracho is running. I think that's probably one of the best things that they can do. This is actually a weird spell steal, but I would say this one's not even horrible, just for getting information on Boxy, the Conjure Image. Now they're getting stalked on the side of Gaming. They have the relocate ready on Liquid.
Tofu might get jump side. Trying to start things off with the vacuum. Good stuff from Tofu to hold back Nisha. Tofu he'll up for the TP out. Quinn will still stick around a little longer. Okay, no, he's also indeed going to bail out of this place.
Boxy getting some deep vision down, so I like that he places this one. It's been spotted though, so I imagine this one's probably going to get taken out, but really good coverage of vision from Liquid this game. Top, they have that deep ward, bottom they have it too, and also in the bottom lane as well too, so they're getting pretty much full information of the map right now to be able to watch when Gaming Gladiators is looking to split up, because that is pretty much entirely what Gaming's going to do for these next few moments, unless Liquid overextends. You need more time before this TB feels in the realms of being it. And I think Panel touched on it a little bit too. It's, Duracho, the timing for TB versus Lesh IO, it always was that Skadi timing, but, nowadays, a little different, especially if there's a BKB on the Lesh, because that Skadi isn't as effective versus that debuff, debuff immunity.
Bit of a slowdown now. I mean, Mickey
Radiant are scanning.
gonna just try and get his cars
Nisha.
done by the looks of it before they
Is under
make the call
attack.
to go for some aggressive relocate play once more.
He should just swat, literally just going back and forth across the map, trying to find a pickoff here. Go find Celery. Boxy with a nice steal. Timberjane. It's going to be really good for catching heroes that are split up around the map. Immediately they swing toward top. They want another one. They have this deep ward on Quinn.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nisha can get in on top of them.
This might catch them. Gaming.
So for Tofu, they do. They found BKB just immediately. Nisha not messing around. He wants to kill this line without any interruption. Does cost him a BKB charge, but the line is dead.
Boxy off the mark there with this Timber Chain.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Last hit gonna
He's
finish
running.
him.
Oh, he's juking them.
He's okay.
He's actually going to live. I couldn't quite catch him.
He actually missed the first Timber Chain. Liquid kicking that tempo up. Top tower drops to less than half.
Also that fortification from Gaming Gladiators.
And they Boxy, because I think that was also a meta use from Duracho.
It looks like it was.
Yep.
Indeed, a missed opportunity there.
I mean, Nisha now with a Blink Dagger. Incredibly aggressive build. Just goes from top to bottom, looking for another pick-off here. Gonna run to Ace, though. Not the ideal target. He wants the TV.
Well, they want to try for play themselves, Gaming Gladiators. Smoke up for Tofu, Celery, and Quinn.
Nisha doesn't have his BKB available. This is definitely an opportunity if they can get the initial catch.
They can catch him here in the river, but he's already back on his half of the map. Very hard to chase down now, and he's almost certainly going to have heroes ready to back him up.
They saw him, though, under the ward. They see where he's going.
You're right, she's splitting once more from the team. Boxy's not going to be able to get over in time to help, and the catch with the Hex, the burst of the finger. Nisha's gone.
Oh, they might get Boxy, too. Shows himself. He's got another Timber Chain.
He's down to the low ground. Swashbuckles off the mark. The Chakrams there. Gaming Gladiators. They'll take both of them.
Two huge kills. They actually played beautifully around their vision there, dancing. They knew Nisha used BKB for that support kill top, and that is Tofu's Blink.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Catch is going to be... I mean, Liquid's got to be careful when they're split up, even when they're on their half of the map. As we're seeing Gaming Gladiators not afraid to go to them. Side down upon him, attempts to set up onto Quinn. Quinn is able to roll away. That's the wall down.
really good assessment there from Game playing around that vision. I think it literally just caught him for like a second there on the primal beast, and they saw the path he was taking. Yeah. Well, mid tower drop. Yeah, mid tower taken out there, and a 3K lead.
So you know, it does feel scary for Liquid.
So yeah, I mean,
they got that lead. They got kind of a decent timing on the tier 2 top. A lot of early pushes went well, but are they far enough ahead to feel good about themselves?
Big eye issue. What the?
Ooh.
What does that mean? There's a big eye in the sky. Somebody's eye is big. What is?
It's probably not something good.
That sounds.
Hopefully the players are all right.
Or the guy with the big hat.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully
it can't be that serious. He's having a joke.
Well, hopefully
he's having a smile. It's okay.
Quinn says go.
Just saw himself.
Big eye issue.
I mean, just quick eye drop or something. It's all good. Hey, is it big eye issue? That sounds serious. I'm like, are they all right?
I was like, oh,
that doesn't sound good.
20-minute pause.
Just celery. Having a bit of a giggle at the expense of teammates, but looks like Quinn's all good to go.
Yep, Liquid back up as well. BKB's at the ready for Nisha. Still the same name of the game. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Try to get a big kill here. And then now perhaps they can look to force a Roche if they do find a kill. Gaming, just the split up of the map. Maximizing as much as possible. Stack for Dyrachyo. Give him every wisdom rune.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see if they can push this.
Glyph is on cooldown, so it looks like that's the call.
This could be the make or break here.
And it is back available.
Can they get the Rex or are they going to get punished? Nisha,
Tofu.
quick jump. Tofu's out.
Doesn't have to use BKB for that at all, too. Howard lets it fall.
So much they can keep going for tier 3. One more tap will take it.
Top tower
It's gone. See if they can get the Rex lick. Can they keep this push up?
Is under attack.
We want to persist for Scotty's still not finished for Dyrachyo. 800 away.
Just good pressure.
Good pressure.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Fortification. Quinn
Dire's
does have
top
Arcane
barracks are
and
under
Rolling
attack.
Thunder if he wants to start trying to slow them down. Tofu's going to be back in 10.
Yeah, his finger's back up as he respawns as well, too.
Really want to get away with this Liquid. It's pretty important for the timings that their lineup needs to hit.
5 seconds on Edict. Now, 5 seconds.
It's the range tracks.
Dire's top barracks
Maybe
has fallen.
I think that maybe they're going to back up with that one. Play careful.
It's a bit difficult now that the full team's back in play from Gaming Gladiators. That they're doing their best to stick around. Now they'll start to fall back a bit, especially with the TP coming in from Dyrachyo.
He gave roll.
Oh, he did.
He didn't cover it at all. At Dyrachyo, he's got his Scotty timing, but giving up roll.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there from Quinn. I mean, he did have the Arcane as well, so could have very easily expended a shield crash, but yeah, the opening's there. Foxy do some enhanced with this. They're going to get the jump. They're going to try their best to burn through the ledge trap, but Mickey, he's only going to go down to half HP. He's finding out Foxy in with a stolen roll, crashes across both Quinn and Tofu. They're making the space here to allow them to apply some further pressure to the melee rack.
Oh, Boxy, he bounced off the wall.
Oh, and he's going to die for that one.
Okay, they cannot finish up the Rex.
Doesn't get back out of the base in time. He'll fall, and indeed the defense will hold up. They keep the melee Rex alive.
They still have meta. They're smoking. I think it got seen. They pinged it right away. It seems like Liquid did catch a glimpse of it somehow. I actually don't know what saw it, but
We're seeing their play how aware they are that this sort of move is charging straight for them.
Radiant
still got about 15 seconds or so in the meta.
Nisha, BKB's are caught up for 50 seconds. Tofu's able to get the opening. Jumps in, gets the hex into the stun. They're coming in with a relocate to try and bail Nisha out of this. He's already gone.
And the roll is back up.
And now
Actually going to catch Zania.
He's also going to fall. He tries to run up to the high ground, but the right clicks on Dyrachyo. They'll take him down. Dyrachyo in the final moments of his meta, hitting hard, getting the double.
Uh-oh. Liquid. Giving up these kills, it's painful. A beautiful smoke though from Gaming. They pinged it though. I swear I saw
Liquid's ping.
It was Zai. It was unless I'm colorblind.
Maybe we'll get it on the replay.
Zai pinged it, so maybe he was saying something else. Maybe didn't catch something because I don't think they had vision up there, but he pinged it, so I was like, maybe he did see it somehow.
Sure.
Either way, Gaming. A really, really clever end of the smoke. Just as the meta's kind of ending, they'll be able to get those last two catches.
Yeah, I can only imagine maybe if they did see it, then maybe they're anticipating that the smoke will kind of be going through like Game Gladiator's own jungle, as there's not a lot of vision that Liquid have there, so they probably assume that Gladiators have vision on them, and so that would be the route they would take. But of course it wasn't. They just went straight down the mid, and they find Nisha, and of course the Eye on top of it.
I feel like for Liquid, you might just actually have to go back toward top soon or something, because I think if you lose maybe even like one or two more of these kind of situations in these fights, the game is just going to be really difficult for you to actually fix here.
Yeah, look at Terrorblade's farm. He's
getting massive.
I mean, sure, Mickey is huge, but it's a carry lash. There's definitely going to be limitations as the minutes pass against the favorable scalability that the strong cores of Gaming Gladiators can have.
Yeah, because they do so much damage, and Ace's build is pretty ideal here, the pipe, and now he's got his damage items too, and Quinn Aghanims is done, so he's going to have this constant shield crash that's coming through. Lucky shot proccing onto these heroes is they're not very tanky right now. Mickey, I believe he is going to at least have the Shivas done fairly soon, but all those things add up when a Terrorblade just beating on you. Meta's back up, Rolling Thunder's back up, Gaming fight.
What is the move for Liquid in this position? I mean, as you said before, you know, when you're trying to play at this sort of tempo, it would feel great if you could take the Roshan. But
it would be, but your lineup it kind of stinks at it overall. Unless you like literally just poke him in, then you could just get wiped because Gaming's lineup is very good at fighting around that Roshan.
Definitely feels like a bit of a gap in what they have here, Liquid.
Okay, shows himself top.
Still strong with the backup of Insania, and Insania's going to look to take him out of here.
I mean, that's a Shiva's show. They're gonna look to maybe set up and fight around here. Mickey, he's actually still in the area.
It's kind of spooky when there's the Meta available on Duracho, and he'll pop it. Start feeding into Mickey. Ace pushing forward on the front lines. They're going to vacuum wall drag back onto the 2.
They're on top of the Lash.
Rolling Thunder coming in from Quinn. They've got the stun control on towards, but the BKB's out from Nisha. Nisha able to grab Quinn, of course, out of the Rolling Thunder, but they've lost their eye. See if they can burst through another. They can. The finger's there. There's going to be 2 of them dead as Gaming Gladiators will chase on for more. They surround Mickey. The Chakram's out for Ace. Mickey's healing up. Thunder, it's not going to be enough. They catch him with the stun. Mickey's taken down. Liquid lose 3. Maybe even more. They get the Skadi connection on towards Zai. Chakram as well from Ace Zai. Going to be out with the surge. The illusions will chase him. Ace, great angle with the timber chain. He's going to have another Chakram to throw forward in a second as well. Zai, he's got one more surge to go. And Zai, if Ace can again get these big angles, this tree's going to trip him up. Won't quite be able to close the gap. So Zai will live, but it's 4 dead. Quinn was able to find Boxy.
Is Zai able to get
I mean, Ace, he's actually going to get him. I mean, it looked like he would get that for sure, Zai, but Ace says no, and Gaming Gladiators, they end up getting a team wipe.
A full wipe, and the game is now in a position where what do you do on Liquid?
What do you do? You never got that melee racks. And with the swing around going like this, 5k lead to Gaming Gladiators, I don't know if you ever will get that melee racks.
You're going to have to cause some kind of weird plays to happen here. Ace, he's trying to disengage. They might lose Tofu for this.
He's got to be a bit careful. His BKB is still on cooldown for 12 seconds.
Should be okay. They should just be one support on Gaming.
See Tofu. He will be able to turn with the stun.
Could grab ally.
The tombstone.
Make him work for it a little harder.
4 heroes there. They will find Tofu. It's something, but it's still, it's going to feel awkward for Liquid. The items are flying out for Gladiators' cause. It's Duracho. He's got the BKB ready for the next fight.
And
we'll see this chase. I mean,
it's beautiful.
It's Zai early. It was pretty far away, but I guess sort of swang around back underneath the tower. Ace, he was still hunting, and he succeeds.
The team fight from Gaming is just, their target prioritization is beautiful. If you actually saw how they're fighting, Duracho, he's hitting the TP zoning, and the IO, sometimes you can see these IOs get away with murder in these fights. Ace full commits onto him, just deletes Insania.
Yeah, Ace in that last fight was pretty dead.
Ooh, they actually do find Duracho up here. It's going to be the catch. Good get the roll done.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I think maybe you push for that rush hard here.
It's still not super quick though.
It's not. Or it's either you push for the road, I think you push for a Rax.
You want to get this melee Rax. You got to get this Rax out of the game, so at least you have one lane that's pushing in consistently. Otherwise, it's going to feel rough for Liquid.
All right. Yeah, let's see if they can get it. It's 30 seconds until Duracho's back up. Meta will be on too. That's not that long. It's back up to full HP.
I mean, if Ace turns up for the defense, could be able to push them back. He's shot.
Like Quinn.
Oh, he does! They get the reload!
They're going to go for this kill instead. Down the swashbuckle, he's got the shard, and he's got into the Rolling Thunder.
He actually gets
He's
out.
actually able to get away from this whole attempt, and of course with that move they made over towards there, it slows down the efforts to try and take the Rax top.
And here comes
Quinn going to continue the roll over towards the supports to get back up the high ground with the swashbuckle. Boxy tries to grab him outside the base, and with the jump ball from Nisha, maybe they can still get into the tombstone. After this, I think Quinn's going to be fine. Liquid, they've got to start backing up. It's getting a bit awkward now. Insania gets burst though. Meg will be popped. Deep with the 5 of them back in action. Gaming Gladiators, they'll take this fight outside of the base and chase Liquid away. Get the illusion out to Boxy. Boxy's going to go for the TP. Anything to stop it. There is just a straight up burst and the control from the Hex.
They can't even touch the Rax.
It's sort of a split call, right? They get too excited by the fact that they see Quinn out on his own in the mid. They try for the play, maybe underestimating the fact that he had that shard ready for the easy settlement of the roll-up. And Quinn's away. They don't get any extra damage done at all to this melee Rax. It still sits at full HP. And again, just sort of this position of the game where we can see that Liquid, they're really struggling to find out how to push it to the next step. Gaming Gladiators, they just chuck down every effort.
And they can do it rush easy. They've got the Undying, they've got the TB, they bring it down. That's going to bring the fight now. Liquid, the call is going to be, I think they have to actually go up there and fight, or this game is even harder than it was before. It looks like a good catch from Nisha, but he actually has to use the ult in order to catch Quinn at the start, right? So then Quinn just has freedom to reset and roll away.
He's out. Ferocious is going to be all theirs.
All theirs. They even popped the wicket. They really wanted to hit pop the meta, even for Dyrachyo for it. Quinn, now he's got an Aegis. He's got extra coverage.
I think they're cool, you know, with the fact that, you know, they can pop meta like that. They could just chill. They can wait this 2 minutes. They don't have to force things. They know that this game, it's only going to get harder for Liquid.
Let's see if Liquid does anything. I think they just pinged out Dyrachyo, so they're probably saying, hey, he just used meta. Let's try to maybe take a fight after that ends.
Are scanning.
Set up all around the mid lane.
They have to take any sort of window they get given here, Liquid. Yeah, they push the issue.
I want
Radiant's
Mickey to
top
get this
tower
BKB
is under attack.
ASAP. I feel like he really needs it. Just to be able to protect himself in the front lines. And so he can give some coverage to Insania. Insania does have Glimmer and Mech, but I'm just watching Ace. He has it out for him. They have detection. Yeah, they're carrying a Dust.
Dire's
Two
middle
Dust section on the
tower
side
is
of
under
gaming.
attack.
Another tower. KP is about to be finished for Mickey.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Can they threaten the high ground, though? It's difficult with this Aegis on Quinn.
They got the tower. You know, they're probably like, yeah, meta's on cooldown, but going for high ground, a little bit risky, but it's buying more and more time for Gaming Gladiators. Ace is honestly such a... maybe just a Timber Saw as well, too, but Ace is playing it super well, and he looks immortal, and he's actually just causing so many difficulties for Insania to play in the fights. Liquid have to try to protect this IO a little more so that Mickey looks stronger. Now on Foxy.
Okay, we'll be going for that Ags next.
And imagine Dyrachyo is just going to go Nullifier also next. Yeah, already queued up.
He's already got the Relic, right? Yeah, he's already got the Relic, so just the helm away, so it will be there far before any of these sort of extra maneuvers and items from Liquid will be.
Yeah, I was wondering which one it was going to be, if he was just going to go raw damage or if he was going to go for the Dispel. Don't blame him going Dispel versus the Crimson and potential, you know, Nihilism and all that will eventually be coming out. Having to kind of stay together here, gaming along on meta, 10 seconds. Dyrachyo almost finished up with the Nullifier. Might look for the fight here.
A few minutes on the Aegis. They can look to fight, but at the same time, it feels like they're not pressured to. Gaming Gladiators.
They want to fight. I mean,
Radiant's
Dyrachyo's
middle
probably like, I
tower
want to kill
is under
him.
attack.
Right.
I mean, it hurts if Liquid take a hit like this.
As a shield ruin it.
Hopefully, be ready for the initiation. Nisha shows himself on the wave. We'll be careful with the fact that the illusion's coming in, and that there's likely heroes behind him. They might get the jump around over towards Mickey. Insania, got the illusions first. Tries to do the jump.
Insania.
A Hex. Insania's going to look to try and hit the map, but the sun's going to catch it. Now Quinn in with the rolling thunder. BKB's out from Mickey. Going to turn straight back towards center. Dyrachyo puts the BKB in with the meta. He's focusing towards Nisha. His BKB comes to an end. The ball gets blocked, and Insania turns across, but he's gone. They'll lose Insania. Quinn dying to the damage of Mickey. Finally falls, but he's got that Aegis. He's going to be back for round 2. 5 back from Insania. He's able to get back around over towards Mickey. I think maybe they can find more causes. Quinn, he's getting chased down by Insania and Mickey. He's going to be back up in a few seconds, and he does have the safety of the roller, but Foxy, he's in with the telekinesis, grabs him, slams him down. Liquid, they'll be able to hold here against the efforts of Gaming Gladiators as they take out both Dyrachyo, and this time they get Quinn the twice, Aegis, and then once again.
Great buyback from Insania. Comes in, gets the heal, and I don't even know how much damage that trample did. He charged right through Dyrachyo, actually popped him before he's able to get Sunder off. They've got a push now going. Dyrachyo dead 40 seconds, no matter even when he respawns.
Yeah, they could get some damage done. Maybe now Liquid can take away some of these barracks from Gaming Gladiators.
That was Mickey's BKB reveal. He stood his ground. He did, what, 8,000, 7,000 damage inside that team fight. More than anybody on his team combined.
See how much they can get done this time. Last time, just a tier 3 and a range racks up top. See if they can get anything beyond that.
They've got Edict up this time. Melee racks likely to fall. 10 seconds till that respawn, but there is going to be no matter for the fight.
This is big for Liquid. Successfully able to take these objectives. Can they push for more? Can they swing up towards the top? I mean, with the respawns coming in, looks like they won't want to risk it. They try and jump forward, but they don't have a return. They get telekinesis back, they've been able to block Tofu. I mean, the Doomstone's going to be there for a little bit of safety for Ace. It's enough. As Liquid, they respect the fact that Dyrachyo and Quinn are back up.
Ooh.
So they get the melee racks, they get a little kill on top of it, and they get out.
And Zai now has an Aghanim's, so an extra illusion now versus this Terrorblade. Could be even more answers. A DD rune bottom, not the best for their draft, but nice momentum, Liquid. And now another full item for Mickey. He just finished BKB, got so much out of that last fight. He now actually has the Aghanim.
GeForce, yeah, well, 24k net worth on Mickey.
Might just be able to walk through them now with this. If they can keep him alive, Sanya has to be careful with that positioning because he does not have buyback for the next fight. But this could be huge too. Boxy actually finds a really good steal now. Mostly he's just been able to get some of these timber spells. Now they have a wombo combo as well. They had the Red the Lash with the Darkseer. Now they have with the Rubik as well.
Get through that difficult point of the game. Having to deal with the Aegis on Quinn. Which you never see too often, but definitely that time round with Gaming Gladiators looking for the action. They bit off a whole lot more than they could chew. Trying to take that fight under the tier 2. Quinn putting them down, getting that chance for the push. In this game back to Cecia, 17-17. Liquid with a very slight lead.
Very, very slight.
Got to keep this up though. Liquid very much the team in this position that can't afford to lose as many team fights.
We'll have to see how much impact Zai's able to do too, because it's like this invisible kind of impact as well from the Darkseer in these fights. Now it's going to get that much stronger with his Aghanims making multiple illusions throughout the TV. But now also, Tofu, they kill the Tormentor, he actually gets the shard this time. So now they'll have answers versus some of these Darkseer wall illusions that have been a little bit pesky. Layers of these fights. And now, eyes out the Mage Slayer, so wanting to be able to reduce a bit of this damage, because Mickey is ripping them to shreds. Hard by Anisha to go for the charge. Liquid feeling strong. Try to catch Gaming Gladiators off guard.
Blind here. Quinn. The reacting time is going to see them. And they've been taking the grab to put a stop to that. Rolling Thunder, and Quinn completely and utterly smashed into the ground.
That's 70 seconds. They can get the push going again. Okay, level 20.
Yeah, Zai's going to be bringing in the creep wave.
Bottom tower is under attack.
At least another tier 2. We're certainly going to look to try and go for more. Yeah, whole minute. No Pango for the defense.
Duracho trying to push the mid wave out as far as he can. See Ace probably putting and maybe pushing toward top a little bit more here. Ace actually committing his gold for a heart, trying to get a little bit tankier to get into the front to protect Duracho. Yeah. So 45 seconds. Liquid pushing the envelope here.
Quite a solid hold they can put together with just the 4 of them. Boxy, he's in with the jump, they're trying to burst through this Tim, and they get a wall drop down as well. Duracho to put the BKB, turns the Sunder. Metamorphosis as well, look towards Mickey, and Mickey with the BKB pop, he's still incredibly strong. Ace looking to be pretty unkillable. They're down to about 2/3 HP, but nothing any further. Another stun thrown away as the Timbersaw. I don't think Ace is going to care too much at all. They'll clip him with a further stun and another stun, but this Timbersaw ain't dying.
The hard purge is definitely worth it there, just for this hold. Mickey, a little bit low.
Nisha wants to try and get back in. It's getting risky now.
Coming back up, yeah, this is a little risky. Meta still up on Duracho too. They'll back up. I mean, they force Meta and get a really big kill onto Quinn, and they get some decent tower damage there. And yeah, Meta downtime. Gaming, I don't think that they should look to fight probably without that one. It's definitely very difficult for them actually to focus fire this Lash. Roche, going to be a bit of a longer respawn. Dream for Liquid if it was.
It's like, yeah, Liquid might check it out anyway.
Yeah.
So, see, towards the top half, get some vision around.
Yeah, I think he's perhaps setting up to see if the Duracho is going for like the split kind of farm up here. Didn't quite find him. They're going to check the Roche. It would have been literally the dream timing from up there, but not the case. It's actually coming up literally as Meta comes back.
Gladiators, they do have smoke at the ready on Tofu, so once they've dealt with the pressure of these waves, they could head over.
Mickey, he finds himself a dream neutralize. Duracho.
Yeah, I mean, we see just sort of from Gaming Gladiators side of things how Ace is pretty unkillable, definitely the same, seeming to go here for Mickey, especially when he's backed up by Insania. This Lesh is so tough to take down.
That okay, just a great healing Lotus. I always try to keep track of these with the IOs too. I mean, if they have to get this IO taken out fast early in this fight, or Mickey will probably just be unkillable. Constantly going through the tomb gates, they're looking to hunt. Gaming Gladiators, they're playing careful, staying kind of more inside the base around each other. Roche, 30 seconds.
I imagine the smoke will come sooner from Gladiators.
Yeah, they scan top. They scan top. Yep. Roche wasn't there, or nobody was there, so now they're going to smoke. And yeah, Meta, it's back up 20 seconds, so.
I mean, it actually doesn't look like they want to drop this. Oh, no, they do. They're waiting for Celery to get out of the base, probably, so they can go 5 man.
Probably waiting for some conjure images too for Rocket to get a wave shove. But yeah, I imagine they're gonna smoke it. You gotta neutralate him also, Stonecrafter.
Okay. And with the timing of Roche, it's up now.
It's gonna be switching to the bottom side, so that's why they're gonna have to swing all the way down there. Celery also finding a Trickster Cloak. Quinn, he got Mindbreaker, Dyrachyo, Mindbreaker.
This fight should be able to kick off before each side is able to attempt Roche. Roche is only now making his way back, of course, to the pit.
This is gonna be a battle.
Gladiators are gonna be able to bring this fight.
This is definitely gonna just be that straight up battle. Do they get the big connections? Is Zai able to get these big spells off? These walls, they're pretty damn good so far from Ace. Gonna waltz in.
They're going to look to try and hold this high ground, Liquid. See if they can scout out as much information as they can as Gladiators attempt to approach.
I think this is one of the few times you see Dyrachyo actually playing careful, playing toward the back, but they do have a vision on top of him. They have a ward on him. Swaps positioning here.
They don't want to go on Ace. They want to go on anything else. Yep. I mean, Dyrachyo, Mickey's got eyes on him. It's no turn. They need your BKB from Dyrachyo. He's not going to play his lock any chance here as he'll turn towards Mickey. Mickey wants the BKB. They're going to grab onto Quinn. Well, completely surrounded Zai, but Zai is able to get the wall off, and the chains doesn't there on the Dyrachyo. Getting the Sunder off. Brings Nisha low. The Dyrachyo has to back away. He might not get the chance, and Mickey catching him with a split up. Dyrachyo dying into the damage of the ledge. He's out. Dyrachyo's gone. Immediate buyback from both supports of Liquid. Mickey still pretty high on the HP as Celery's attempting to stand up with him. Tofu, he's got the control on towards Nisha. Nisha's onslaughting away. The Ace, another Chakram, Timber Chain forward. They're cutting down the escape from Nisha. He'll turn with another Pulverize, but they'll bring him down. Triple kill for Ace. Ultra kill for Ace as he finds Boxy. I mean, Ace isn't done. He's still full HP. He's more than ready to keep this going. They'll catch the IO again with another disarm. Ace focusing Insania. Wants the rampage. Won't quite get it. Tender down to the low ground. Insania keeps his distance from Ace. Ace continuing to chase. There
he gets a rampage.
There's the rampage for Ace. As Gaming Gladiators, they'll lose Celery. But Ace, he'll be happy with it. This one, it walks out full HP. And that fight, 4 buybacks from Liquid had to be used to try and come out even.
Mickey does stand his ground, but so does Ace. I mean, the damage. Look at the damage numbers tell it all. 10,000 on the Lash, 14,000 on the Timber. Spells that he used like 40 different spells. Roche, though, looks like it might go Liquid's. Dyrachyo respawning. We'll see how crazy he is.
I mean,
should get it.
They do need it. As I said, it's 4 buybacks from Liquid to take that fight.
Did you see the amount of zombies that were in this fight too? Like they actually, the tools don't live, I think, full duration. It actually starts to build up. The moral losing as well. Dyrachyo is taking an insane amount of damage from them.
Nisha gets the Aegis.
Okay. Has to get it because he did have to use that buyback.
4 buybacks. Yeah. Everybody apart from Mickey on Liquid buyback for that one. We'll see again at the start of this fight. Straight towards Dyrachyo. Great sort of moves from Mickey, getting on top of the TB, taking him out of this one. But yeah, Ace, they just can't deal with this Timbersaw. He's just able to freely roam across the team fight. They can kill everyone else sort of here and there, but Ace, he's just untouchable.
So is Mickey though, especially when Insania's pumping him. I actually didn't catch there the Quinn getting saved from the grab ally for a quick second there, but either way, these two beasts standing strong.
See what they can do here with this Aegis. Nisha, got to bring in the top wave.
Very, very close. I mean, 22 to 23.
It's such a scary moment.
So close. I'm very impressed with the way the Liquids, even in the last like 10 minutes after Gaming started to get some big fights, that they're able to keep it like this, keep this pressure going versus Gaming.
Sure, yeah. See if they want to. I mean, if you're Liquid in this point, do you try and push for the Aegis, or do you just wait these 5 minutes out?
I mean, you just have to be together. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know if you want to like fully force stuff, but at least just play together to not get caught out.
I mean, because if a fight kicks off and if Nisha dies or if Zai dies, it could be game over.
Yeah, if they just isolate Mickey, then they'll be able to deal with that Leshrac. And I mean, they've been getting Insania every time, and Insania, he's got a cheese, but he needs to be able to get it off, and he won't have a buyback this time around. I think 2 times now we've seen Insania's buybacks, if I'm not mistaken, kind of be that thing that makes Mickey just be able to stand his ground fully.
I mean, obviously from Gaming Gladiators side of things, at the moment they don't have any buybacks either.
They do not.
But the 4 of them just short on the gold, so they've at least got something they can do about that.
They actually commit their gold. Quinn goes for the full Bloodthorn.
Yeah, 1,600 gold short of his own buyback.
I guess just in particular, now it's versus the Trickster Cloak. I mean, they didn't really have any other invasion.
is under attack.
I mean, that damage amp, though, is going to be nice to allow the TB just to focus fire as well. And that is really what their draft is about, so you can really understand why they're going for Bloodthorn. It's all about just
bottom tower
kill
is
the
under
Lasher,
attack.
kill that Primal Beast and that one little stun that they can get.
Looks like Liquid are going to play this rather cautiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything reckless.
Just stay together. Yeah, just keep like your buddy system. 2 people together. Nisha maybe can be a little bit isolated because he has the Aegis coverage. Everybody just near each other. X finished the pick A. Almost 25 also. Maybe that could be a timing that Liquid's waiting for to look to go for that next big fight. I wouldn't even blame him to go for the Lightning Storm. Obviously, like, the Edict one, it usually is just the way better one, but I have seen arguments in some situations for Lightning Storm.
Closing in on the base, Liquid. Gladiators will have to return.
They're gonna force him back to base. They can poke here. Okay.
Dire's middle barracks are
Very
under
quick.
attack.
Easy range racks.
Dire's middle barracks.
Tough also.
Might be able to finally get this melee racks they were going for about 20 minutes or so ago. Back in now.
Ratio, he has buyback. He's the only one in the game.
The rest are close though. Or at least, well, Ace
100
sold off. That's the next big one. Game Gladiators will be looking towards. Jump. They're going to try and tickle Ace. I would say tickle. They're doing a lot of damage. They grab Alex. He's getting low. They grab 1-1. They might actually just kill it. They do.
They grab Quinn, not Ace. He has no buyback.
That's a huge kill for them to get.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that Liquid there, the damage that they must have pumping out for their 5 heroes this moment, they killed what seemingly was the unkillable. Ace, he actually disappeared pretty darn quickly though.
They gave up shock. They gave up the chakram, right? They have that extra burst damage also from Boxy, and they're swinging to auto.
They are. They're looking for more here, Liquid.
They're like, the Brave Boss is gone. Go, go, go.
250 gold short of buyback Ace.
I guess he was really just expecting Celery to get it onto him, but Quinn jumps in at the same time, and he actually was thrown inside of that tombstone.
See if they can do it with the 4 of them here. Gaming Gladiators, can they limit the damage that Liquid's going to be able to do? They're stepping up, they get the Hex on the Dracho. It's going to get Glimmered. Falls back to Sigma's side. Draco in the back of the wall. BKB's coming out. Draco turns with the Sunder overboard side. Only doesn't take it, but the Quinn punch is there. They grab Quinn. Quinn getting slammed in the ground. He has the shield crash. But Swashbuckle up under the tier 4s. Quinn will live, but they lost Tofu. Also without buyback. As Liquid, they keep the push going. Take this bottom second set of racks by the looks of it.
Still healthy too. They still have the cheese on Insane, they still have the Aegis. They can look for that last set, look for that last racks.
And they're going to charge through towards the tier 4s. The arrow onslaught across Celery. Celery completely surrounded. He'll get a soul weapon and decay off. Duracho trying to help out the best he can, but Celery's out for 70.
He can't stand his ground. He's actually getting conjured or reflection. I think that was Boxy's reflection almost kills Duracho.
They're going to get this full set of racks up top as well. This is going to be the Mega Creeps out against Gaming Gladiators. Liquid. They absolutely make the difficult call to go for this push whilst their own buybacks was still on cooldown, but it works out perfectly. Mega Creeps out against Gaming Gladiators, and still 40 seconds where they won't have the full team alive.
Like, great recognition of them to go for this kill and just push the issue.
And know that they could take down Ace like that. Now, they're in again, Nisha. Comes to the jump forward, they get the Hex. Win, he's a little bit too close to them all. As he gets grabbed again by Nisha with a pulverize. Managed to roll up.
He's gonna live.
He's gonna live.
Has to just get bonked away, swashes away.
Ken wants to go again.
He's got the big talent.
He's gonna get a stun onto Ace.
Get the push going.
He turns with a chakra, another pipe thrown down the way of Nisha. 20 seconds until they have the full team back, Gaming Gladiators.
Meta still down for 50 seconds though. Tough for them to fight into Liquid at this point with that down.
He's going to jump again soon. He's got the ball back up in 10 seconds. Ace. Then they get the grab on towards Ace. Ace is gonna get knocked out by the onslaught. There's the back of the look at the Hex. The stun. The ball up there. Duracho will be able to get the BKB up, but he can't. Duracho out of the game for 85. He has got his buyback available. Ace, he's gonna get grabbed. Another ball right there from Nisha. Ace, he's out for good 90 seconds. As he's dead again and still was unable to acquire the money for buyback.
And they back it up a little bit here as soon as they see the buyback from TB. Reset themselves, cooldown's about to be back up, and then they'll look to go and end this.
To the tier 4's Liquid.
20 seconds on meta.
No Ace. Tofu. Well, the stun will manage to blink back. These tier 4s, they get completely shredded here by Mickey. As both go down, the Ancients are going to be exposed. Gaming Gladiators, they've got to do something soon with the 4 of them if they want to stop this from happening.
They gotta just go in. Liquid.
Quick disarm and the swashbuckle on towards Nisha.
Edict's back up.
They've got to push back this ledge somehow. Still got the cheese available on his hand. Did he get the jump? Duracho, he's caught by the stun. They'll get him into the tombstone. There's a chance here for Duracho. Is it going to be enough? He's trying to get out. Look for a Sunder. He goes for it. Getting the Sunder on the one side. Zai getting beat down by the Terrorblade. They kill Zai off. Zai's gone for 2 minutes. on the Quinn. The follow-up stun from Mickey. Quinn's going to fall back to safety. The creep, the mega creep, they're building up here against the Ancient. Quinn, he'll roll up. 25 seconds until Ace is back. The Ancient slowly but surely taking damage. Mickey continues to push forward.
Ratio's meta is almost ending here. He can't hold off the creeps.
And they really want to keep trying for this Liquid. It's a bit difficult to say. Zai, he was short of gold for buyback this time, 900 gold short. So he won't be able to buy back and add to the push. Looks like Liquid, they'll have to fall back a little bit. Gaming Gladiators, they'll keep the game alive.
Big damage done though, and they are going to have all these buybacks now available for the next time on Liquid. And that was meta used from Dyrachyo, and he wasn't able to actually hit anybody, actually. He was literally having to just clear the creeps, and oops, he pops BKB now.
Whoopsie. The intention's getting high here.
Don't give up, sis Tofu.
Yeah, he's trying to get this refresher, but he will not have the money for it anytime shortly. So indeed, this is 80 seconds, no meta, and no BKB on the Terrorblade. Liquid, they'll have a bit of a winner, sort of a 30-second gap where Zai's going to be back in action. They'll have the 5 of them alive.
Check the roast just in case, too. They're like, oh, it could be back up. It's not quite up there for 40 seconds, but it's very soon. Sania gathering more Lotus.
Things could fall into place for Liquid to set up for the final game-ending push.
Sania now having a greater healing Lotus on him, too, to just keep Mickey pumped up as he has been beautifully this game. The buybacks really do feel like it's been the difference maker for Liquid in this one, being able to push forward and find Dyrachyo over and over again.
I think Nisha, some of his initiation's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Just straight in with the grab. Was going to have 2 sets of them now with that refresher that he was pumping out last fight.
And he's got the 25, so the pulverized duration,
yeah,
it lasts forever.
He gets in, he grabs them, and not a whole lot can be done. I mean, Seller, he's really got his work cut out with these tombstones that he's trying to bail his whole team out with. But as we've seen, it can only, of course, be one. Even at that, it's just sometimes not enough. Liquid, they can push forward, destroy the tombstone, destroy the hero inside.
And they're going to get a Roche here out of this now, too.
Who's taking the Axe? Anything nice here for Liquid to try and add to this next push?
Indonesia. A lot of damage.
Yeah, why not?
Might as well. Yeah, they have another 2 other cores, so.
Radiant are scanning.
Gladiators, let's see how set up they are for the next defense. BKB and Metamorphosis back available for Dyrachyo. And he's very close to refresher.
Yeah, he's going to have it done in a second.
500 gold short. If he can somehow find that gold before this push comes in, he'll have 2 rounds of feeling incredibly strong, a long duration where he can stand his ground and ensure that Liquid can't freely hit the Ancient. There'll be a lot of damage coming out from this TB.
I like that he was able to get out and just make sure you get the cornucopias. That's the important thing, because sometimes it's like, I can't get my courier out there to get it.
I mean, you can finish off this Ancient camp here with his illusions, get the neutrals as well. I mean, this should be enough.
It's still going to be a tough hold here. It's commencing. Mickey. He has buyback.
He got the refresher done. So 2 BKBs, 2 Metamorphosis is ready to go for the defense. Already here comes the first one. Metamorphosis out from Dyrachyo.
Okay. Just waiting in the wings, shield ruined. This is one of the tankiest primal beasts you'll ever see. 7,000 defensive HP, the vacuum.
Trying to set up in, he's put the BKB, they're on twice. They're going to see if they can burst through the Simsaw again, but the grab allies there, straight into the tombstone. Celery able to come in with the save. A pull back.
Trying to get
early Liquid.
That's first BKB from Nisha.
They do have fortification available in Gladiators.
Soon wearing out, 8 seconds. Careful here, waiting for the sneak jump. Watch Zai here for his back.
Ace just jumps casually into the tombstone. Nisha's going to put pretty low. They get the combo opening, bringing down. They're dying really.
Dyrachyo.
Celery's able to step back. Nisha, he grabs the Terrorblade call for the form Henchman, but Dyrachyo manages to BKB. Sun going towards side. And Dyrachyo's back on the full HP. Pop to refresher. Second round of the Metamorphosis good to go for Nisha. He has the bomb right. The long duration is slapped down quick with the fingers there. Then through Mickey. He's going to try to buy back with the Hexes on the Nisha. Nisha's out. But once they take the Ages off the primal beast, they can look to stand up for a second round. They're going to punch back on towards Dyrachyo. The Hex as well. They're looking down the Terrorblade. They've got him. Dyrachyo's out of the game. See if they can continue the clean up in the stun flying through from Foxy, a stolen Earthspike, Spike catching onto the 2, and now they can look towards finishing this surely. The grab's there on towards Timber. They found Ace. Ace, he's got no way of surviving through this. He's out, he's got buyback. They're going to throw the buybacks into this. But Celery, he brought back, dies back, he's out again. Triple kill for Zai. Nisha pulling them back towards the fountain. The creeps are building up. As it's just 2 versus 5 here on the defense for Gaming Gladiators as Liquid can't be able to close this one up. GG is called. Liquid take game 2.
What a game. What a display, really, of dominance from them. This one, Gaming fighting back kind of hard of it, but the buybacks from Liquid, the jumps that they were able to get, the opening they find, killing Ace top, that was the big one to allow them to really push forward here. That was sick.
That was an impressive win from Liquid. This was, as you could have seen, this was not an easy game.
Gladiators turn to ban.
It's an arm's length for Liquid here. They just got to keep it up.
So what more strategies can they whip out of their playbook? They have revealed the IOLesh, and this time Liquid is second pick. So
turn to ban.
are they going to let the
turn to ban.
IOLesh go through on gaming? Are they going to ban one part of it?
I have to highlight what Fear mentioned at the beginning of this series with statistics. Team Liquid was 85% win rate on Radiant going into this series. And first game they were Dire, lost. Second game they were Radiant, won.
10 seconds.
This game they're Dire.
Fair point.
Maybe not. Maybe so dire for them.
5 seconds.
I'm going for something.
Oh, Brian, you cracked me up. Well, that was almost a genuine laugh at you, Winter.
He's smiling.
He's trying, man. You have to give him some credit.
I give him.
Why do you have to be so mean to your fellow North American?
I would never dare. All right, gentlemen. What's the plan? Is Timbersaw getting taken out? Is Medusa getting taken out? Is Gaiman's Enchantress going to get respect banned?
I wouldn't mind if Liquid runs it back with the opening.
Okay.
So I believe Gaiman took out. What did they take out? Because Team Liquid took out Medusa, right? In game 2.
Yes. So in game number 1, it was Liquid getting
Team
the
Liquid's turn to ban.
Broodmother as their first pick. They banned out Morphling Medusa. Or sorry, Gaiman banned out Morphling Medusa. Game 2, Gaiman banned out Morphling Pugna. And for Liquid, game 1 they banned out Lesh Anch, and game 2 they banned out Brood Medusa.
Look at this. They banned their own Timbersaw.
Wow.
Very
10
interesting.
seconds remaining.
Right, having first pick.
Yeah.
They're looking at IOLesh right now, I think.
5 seconds.
You think they're going to first
remaining.
pick the Lesh or the IO? Like, which
Lesh.
piece of the puzzle's better
Lesh.
without the other? Probably Lesh.
Yeah, I don't think. What else would you play IO with?
Yeah, I guess that kind of puts Liquid in a weird spot where do they have to pick IO?
And the other one's Pugna, right? That one didn't make it through last game.
Yeah.
True.
So Pugna Storm, IOLesh. I think we're looking at probably one of those, or just the casual Enchantress.
Gladiators turn to pick.
Not an
Can't they just give away the IO Lash and just pick Enigma to deal with it?
You think that's enough?
I mean, Gaiman doesn't really like the Enigma so much.
They have not picked it yet.
And I don't know if that will hard counter it either. It might be a little difficult, especially going into this game.
The other option that we
10
often saw in this
seconds
position
remaining.
was a team would go Shadow Demon first pick, and then kind of tee up a Medusa.
5 seconds
Because
remaining.
Medusa goes through this time.
Okay. Because Medusa is very good against Lesh. Because Lesh simply does not have the damage to kill her. Like, Lesh does eventually run out of damage, and you also don't lifesteal through Medusa's mana shield. So, if we're considering the Bloodstone heal or a Satanic, that's a big factor.
Yep.
So, Liquid might just take the Medusa here, as opposed to, like, they may just go on dying Medusa and let Gaiman have.
Liquid's turn to pick. Gaiman
Yeah, Lesh.
Gladiator.
But then couldn't you anti-mage here?
It's like IO anti-mage.
Yeah.
It's like, then why'd you pick the IO?
That sounds terrible.
That's true.
Yeah, I think like anti-mage is not good enough of a hero here to warrant kind of stranding your IO, right?
But could you still do it maybe later, like put him on off lane? You think that would still?
What I'm saying is you're now making it so your IO doesn't have a Lesh if you pick anti-mage right here.
Yeah, because either AM's getting banned second phase or Lesh is getting banned, whichever one you didn't pick.
Yeah.
Definitely puts them in a weird spot now where now they have an IO and they are debating not having the Lesh. A little bit what I was worried about when they first picked the IO, and that's kind of why I wanted the Lesh over it, because you can always pivot your draft a little bit, but how much can you pivot with an IO? That is going to be the question, and this is kind of where the mind games are coming into play. We're just seeing some very high-level drafting from both sides. Both teams know exactly what the meta is, and that small break you have in between games, they use their drafting time very efficiently, I feel, for Liquid. They saw this coming.
What I think is fascinating, in just like theory crafting, is has Gaimin ever been in a scrim against a team where they felt like the other team also threatened picking IO Lesh, so they had to first pick IO with the plan to take Lesh? Do you know, do you think they've ever been in this exact spot?
That's actually a very good point.
I have to imagine...
Maybe normally in this kind of scenario, they would actually just pick Medusa right away without even thinking, you know. But right now, Liquid made them think.
Team Liquid's turn to
post Lima Major, surely you had to realize that this is Gaimin's bread and butter. How do we try to dismantle it?
Well, yeah, and if it's in the meta, I think at this point you kind of just have to be able to play it yourselves. Otherwise, there's just not enough bans left, because there's always going to be this is a broken combo, but there's always 4 to 5 broken individual heroes.
The last game they tried like a Mage Slayer and Pipe against the Lesh, but the Lesh still managed to
Eventually he
win the game.
reigned supreme.
I think it was a really interesting thing that they did with the Tango there, going for the Mage Slayer, but it was just not enough.
I think Medusa's pretty hard for Lesh, because you are a Scotty builder potentially, but you also don't rely on the Scotty. And like I said, it's just the fact that you don't Bloodstone heal off of the mana shield. It really is a big deal.
Yeah,
we'll see how that
big
plays
snake
out.
too, right? Get a lot of mana back.
Yeah, and Dusa is also way faster than Terrabate. I feel like you might have too much of a timing before you can end the game, unless you have like some Darkseer. Your offlaner might you need like a heavier core to actually ensure that you can go late game like a Darkseer.
They're almost certainly banning the Darkseer. Yeah. I'd be really surprised if they don't, just because it's good against Dusa, and Gaimin also picks it a lot, especially with the IO.
And also, the lane will be very difficult, because for all we're talking about Mana Shield, Undying does not help a Medusa in lane very much. You're not, I mean, like, aside from being a bully, but like, Soul Rip is not going to keep Medusa alive. We usually have the batteries, the
She
Pugnas.
still takes 2% of that damage.
Sure, yeah, 2%. Like skim milk.
Homestone is still going to be nice.
That is true. Grab ally as long as he targets it right.
It's still going to be useful. I mean, sure, it won't be as useful as another carry, but Undying is still going to be Undying. It's going to help you get Roshan and win the team fights.
But I guess my question is, how important is it to get like the Coddles or the Pugnas who refill Medusa's mana?
I think you're more concerned at this point with stuns. Like, I think Liquid, you have pretty good 5-man already. Like, Medusa already represents like a timing push. She's going to ball down a lane. Even if it's not against an anti-mage, you still have that period where the one strat is they have to ignore you because you're so tanky, walk down a lane. So I would like to see, like, I like the bans. Disruptor as a support, Batrider as a support, Rubik against the Leshrac. And remember, Team Liquid has the lane counter picks, and Medusa is relatively uncounterable in the offlane. Like, she pretty much wins most of the matchups. So Liquid's kind of in a position to win all 3 lanes, and now they pick a flex hero, which they've given to Boxy, as well as Nisha. So it could potentially be mid, and depending on what Gaimin does, it could potentially just be 4.
10
with a stun.
seconds remaining.
So it just depends on where the Lash is going. If the Lash is going safe lane, then you would put the Wind Ranger as a 4. If the Lash is going mid, you can put the Wind Ranger mid.
I think it's also just like if whatever Gaimin picks here is there's a mid laner that counters Lesh and whatever they pick here.
Yeah, and Gaimin's not a team that's going to flex this Leshrac. I just don't see
Yeah,
that
I think they'll
happening.
just give it
Liquid's the type of team, they'll flex everyone around, but Gaimin, they're specialists. When
Would
they
you
have
have
a hero,
said
they
that
pick it.
about the Timbersaw last game, though? Because I also thought that Timbersaw is always going to be Quinn.
No, I didn't think so. I think Ace also plays the Timbersaw. They have a couple flex picks, but I don't think Leshrac on Dyrachyo is one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Dyrachyo Lesh.
Yeah.
Well, Liquid do indeed ban out the Darkseer as suspected, and as a result, Gaimin scoop up their Underlord for the ace.
Underlord's a strange hero versus Medusa. It has some good and bad properties to it. Like, you do have the aura, which is good. You have high damage for CSing, But later on in the game, the Firestorm doesn't really do any damage to Dusa because their base HP is so low. So they need more heroes that can do damage. Lion's one of them. I guess the mana drain. Wonder why people haven't been picking much Lion versus Medusa, because it is a decent amount of damage you can do as well.
I have to believe this lane's kind of gonna get slaughtered. Like I feel like Undying can almost 1v2 this, and then Medusa. The reason why she's picked so much on top of every other reason is she's an incredibly strong laner. She's gonna help you. So I'm wondering what Gaiman's plan is to get past like the first 3 or 4 levels, because the reason why Darkseer is also good against Medusa more than just getting the illusion is you can choose to cut creeps. You can kind of like not lane, right? You can just choose to let the Medusa have farm and you trade for yourself. Underlord, on the other hand, he's known for having really high base damage and just kind of farm.
They just have to pull the wave, I think. The lane's not as great, but...
Is that possible?
You'll be able to play the lane. I think what you could do is level 1, you get the Firestorm, you push the wave in, and you could send the Underlord to pull the wave.
Okay, so you purposely like Earth Spike the range creep and Firestorm the first creep wave. Yeah, I mean, this is just stuff where if they don't get it right the first wave or two, they could be in some trouble, but I definitely trust Gaiman to know what they're doing here.
Is there any possibility they let Io hang out with Underlord in that lane?
That'll just be worse, I think.
Yeah, that'll be worse because the Io can't really do anything.
You're not really like sustaining the Underlord in any meaningful way. I don't.
Lion, at least you can stun the Undying if he's trying to like poke the Underlord too much. So in that way you can still do something for the lane, but Io, you're totally helpless in this lane.
Yeah, you're kind of just giving him double decays too, like.
Gaiman Gladiators.
You don't really want to do that too much. But I do see a trend, of course, when all these teams are playing. We'll talk about that in a sec. This Io Lesh is, you do have the ability to just buy these Greaves and deal with it that way. And I think that just pretty much secures the fact that we're going to have a boxy One Ranger. As Sniper is a pick we see quite frequently against the Leshrac in the mid lane. Medusa most likely not going mid, so that'll be your carry.
5 seconds remaining.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that was pretty much it. The only hero that I think you need to probably worry if your team Liquid is maybe a PL or something like that in this game.
Yeah,
there's not many other heroes right now for Gaming to pick. They need a hero that can deal so much damage in the team fights, because Underlord is just gonna not provide too much. And PL is like a pretty decent solution against the Sniper and the Tombstone plus the Medusa.
They need Catch. They need like Slark. They need Faceless Void. I think those are the bends. I think... I mean, Sniper, they picked it on Tundra against Liquid earlier, and Nisha just solo killed him when he was Lesh. I think the Lesh having 90 damage on level 1 Lightning Storm makes this lane a lot better for Lesh, because you can actually out-CS the headshot early. But one thing to consider here is what happened in the Tundra game was 9 was not the only one that lost his lane. So what happened was the map collapsed really quickly. This is going to be the most snowbally momentum-based game ever. Like you mentioned, Lesh, pretty much every single game fear is run in, unkillable, kill everybody, or vice versa. And like Sniper, that's all he can really do is hit you on your way in and hope it's enough to dissuade you from being able to close the gap on him. Because if Lesh eventually gets, you know, Bloodstone Shiva, Strength Blink, these like 4th, 5th items, like Sniper can't play the game anymore. But in the early to mid game, if Liquid wins top lane, Sniper's putting a lot of pressure on mid lane, the supports can collapse, like suddenly Gaiman's entire game plan falls apart.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I really dislike about Liquid's draft right now is the lack of being able to do anything on the map.
True.
You have like a Sniper mid, if he loses his lane, you've got a Deuce on the other lane, your supports are Undying Wind Ranger. Yeah. It could get really ugly, because sure, they're countering core to core here, which I do like that approach, but it puts you kind of all in the laning stage in a lot of ways.
Gaming feel like their supports have a lot more options. Like in the early game, they have a lot more things they can do around the Lesh, and that's going to be very, very crucial. Like the 6-minute mark, first rune, whether they can actually kill the Sniper with the rotation.
5 seconds remaining.
Wind Ranger is not exactly that useful in that first engagement at 6 minutes. Undying is okay, but Wind Ranger not so.
Seems like a shame that we can't flex the Lesh to Durashio, though, because you know your matchup mid is a Sniper. Theoretically, you should be able to abuse that, because they're counterpicking your Lesh.
Gaiman Gladiators.
Last time we saw it, the Lesh beat the Sniper, so...
That's true.
It really just comes down to comfort levels, and Quinn, pretty sure he's quite comfortable playing Lesh into almost any matchup. We'll see if they can do it. I mean, it's always an option, but it just seems unlikely based on their history.
I mean, these last two picks are pretty much going to be 80% of the playmakers in this game, between the carry and the offlane of both teams. I trust Zai
5
in
seconds
terms of last
remaining.
pick counters. He's a player that's demonstrated he can play pretty much anything.
Yeah, the last time they picked Lifestealer with the Lash, I know you guys didn't really like it.
It was usually 10th pick though, right? Like not 9th.
I mean, this would be a very bad life stealer game. I
Team
think the
Liquid's
Slark and the
turn
PL
to pick
could be good options.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't ban Slark on Liquid. Jug's kind of annoying for Sniper, but it's not as bad as Axe Slark. So
Yeah.
well, what they do have is a counter pick. So maybe they were discussing this and they're like, we're going to pick Legion or we're going to pick Axe, and it's going to be totally fine. And that we gave them Slark. But Slark is definitely
Choose your
Enigma. Huh.
Oh, that's a pretty good Enigma game against
It is.
Slot.
I like it a
Relocate.
lot actually. But now they have the only problem I don't like with this is now you have a third ranged core
Yeah.
that doesn't really want to start anything.
Yeah.
So how do the fights begin for Liquid is the
It's
question.
going to be a lot of like poking and prodding. Undying has to be more sacrificial with his body. You have to just stand in front, let them go on you, and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's just how do you
It's difficult to play the fights. I get what you're saying.
you have Black Hole, and
Yeah.
if you don't kill Slark in the Black Hole, like, and they have IO. I actually don't like this pick.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
what
like
if
it.
he actually just he itemizes aura and he just
So
plays as
you
attack
think Liquid's
and don't play-
plan is to say you can't fight into us? We're gonna
Yeah.
have like Greaves, Helm of the Overlord.
yeah
and
don't play for the black hole. Just get the auras and stand together.
And then
10
what do you do
seconds
with that? Do you
remaining.
just walk into objectives? You just take
Yeah,
Roche?
like
walk the-
sniper is gonna hit like Medusa hit the towers. You
5
place the
seconds
tombstone down, and
remaining.
Enigma's gonna be standing like in the middle of the fight.
I'm just thinking about the map because you're gonna have Underlord, Lesh clearing waves really fast. Like, yeah, you can maybe group up as Liquid, but you have to concern yourself with how quickly you do that and like who's taking care of the bad farm on the map. These are the questions I have.
Yeah, I really think Liquid's draft here is very difficult to execute if they don't do well on the laning stage. So this one's going to be super important that they do have counter picks on the laning stage. They just need to work and be able to group up. If they want any chance in this
Yeah,
game.
usually Liquid doesn't look like they draft for the lanes nearly this much, like on average. I
Yeah.
feel like I completely agree. It's whether they're up by like 3-4K at minute 10 because they could be, or they just kind of lose. Like all three of their lanes are hard counters.
I will say anecdotally over the past few days that we've seen Zai's Enigma, he does not lose lanes. And
Yeah.
he very quickly gets online.
It's quite possible they just win all three lanes and the game's over in 10 minutes. It's quite possible. But it's like, if that doesn't happen, the game gets quite weird.
Yeah, I mean you win all your lanes. 20 minutes. The Medusa has Manta and Butterfly. Just push all the tower. I can see the game just ending at that point, you know, and there's nothing you can do.
I would not be happy with my pubs playing this kind of draft though.
I would
Or
not.
Medusa or
I mean, the thing is, it's whoever picked first, you know? It's like if the sniper picked first, then the Medusa blade, or he blames the
for mid.
Medusa.
And Medusa's like, I'm still playing Medusa. All right, friends, let's get into a game number 3 with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Game 3 here between Gaming Gladiators and
Prepare
Team
for battle.
Liquid. We've had two fantastic back-and-forth games so far. Can't wait to see what goes down in this one. Fogged, we've got the drafts in front of us. What are you looking forward to see, and what do you reckon's going to be able to take this third game?
Let's see how lanes go. I think I'm really with the panel what they're saying here because I'm always a little worried when I see these lack of initiating lineups a bit here. If you do start to falter out of these lanes and gaming, it's a very well-rounded draft. Lanes, top especially, we're going to have to look at with this Underlord. This one could be a little bit difficult.
Okay.
But we saw earlier today, in fact, I believe it
did.
was this morning, the Lesh versus the Sniper. I think it was Nisha. He actually killed the Sniper solo and stuff like that. So let's see how he plays the matchup being the Sniper.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, do you think, coming towards the end of this event that's sort of making some teams finding the sniper pick appealing?
I don't know, because I think it's lost all the games, right? Let me
30
look.
seconds
check the win
to
rate.
battle.
Check.
How's Sniper been doing it?
He's lost all 3 games.
Uh-oh.
I think I was thinking about it and I was like, I think I saw one decent game from it where Liquid was playing from it and then he just like ran out of steam and you could see he was kind of just tickling heroes, but let's see what goes down.
I'm looking forward to seeing it because clearly, if it's lost, as you said in the 3 games that it's had, there must be some
learning.
untapped potential that teams are trying to show us. Nisha's trying to show us. We'll see if he's able to show it here in this game 3.
I'm just wondering if they're going to fall into the issue. It's
The
like, man, we have
battle
Sniper Dude, so
begins.
these 2 heroes are kind of doing the same thing. They're like in the purpose of the overall grand schemes of the game, right? So, yeah, we'll have to see how it ends up working. Let's see how much Nisha's able to do. As you might get a little bit of damage here onto Celery. Not quite a kill, but...
Nice little start for Gladiators. They'll get themselves 3
Three
or 4
runes.
bounty runes to begin things off. Talking about sort of the final picks from both teams. Gaming Gladiators, of course, settling with Doracho, getting the Slark in. And then from...
Grenade clips him. He might be dead.
Might be dead. He's going to have stun back up in a few seconds. He has got stick charges, so he's making Insania work for this. Pops the stick, turns with the stun.
Smack him.
And Insania...
Help was fine.
Yeah, he is. He'll be able to back off.
down 12 strength. Those tangos are super effective, of course, for this. Yeah, we'll have to see.
But these last picks, right? Duracho Slug coming in, and then Liquid, they'll get Zai the Enigma. What do these sort of say to you?
The Duracho Slug, they wanted to have this answer versus this Medusa. There wasn't the most heroes really left in the pool that Duracho likes to play. I know me and you were theory crafting. Will he play the Lash, and do they do some type of like Pango kind of thing and do all this? He doesn't play the Lash. He wants to play something more normal, so I think that's probably the case for him. It also does work decently with even like a Lash strike rather than mid. Nisha.
All right, click. That'll do it. First blood for Quinn.
That's exactly what happened earlier today. It was Nisha killing the sniper with the Lash.
I mean, let's see. I think a lot of people right now are probably going to be skeptical of what the sniper's going to be able to do.
I'm pretty skeptical of the tri-core.
We just haven't seen it work.
Yeah, of the tri-ranged core, to be honest with you. Like, very little front line. But I think it's going to all be up to really how this Dusa goes, especially if Nisha struggles this much in the mid matchup.
Quinn is going to be very happy with this sort of start.
I mean, level 1 lightning, right? Brian talked about it.
Ratcho, he went down to about 10 HP there. Hillary will be able to top him up a little bit, and he's got the tangos at the ready.
Yeah, he's got Tango and he's got the Ring of Regen, so he goes quick. Yeah, they are very good at playing this lane. That's one thing. No matter what 4 position it is, like a ranged 4, actually maybe mostly even like a melee 4. I think we've seen the Tiny and the Tusk with the Enigma work best for this side of Liquid. So I think this lane, Zai should do pretty decent. And of course, being able to slow down Duracho, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get any kills. Unless there's a pretty big slip up. Looks like the answer to Quinn's Lash is going to be check them, take them away from. Foxy will swing toward mid. Yeah.
And you know, this top lane, and we've still got the panel talk about it.
Should be free for Mickey.
Yeah, the Medusa Undying, pretty much the textbook as it gets, right? When you go for these sort of dream setups in this patch of your safe lane duo.
Yeah, and it's like it's versus a, pretty weak lane. Like the Underlord overall, every time he's playing versus the Undying it's just been pretty miserable. All being said though, Ace is 9-5, so he's gotten some decent denies up here with the lane positioning.
Quinn? Being kept a little bit low here, but
that's just the effect of the double water runes being checked.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it'll probably take sort of a death from one of his supports to get the rebuild mid and get back to base. He knows that there's, unfortunately, from one of those situations where you don't mind your supports dying in the side lanes, because then maybe you may...
Look at this, though.
Bottle refill.
This is the one power of I think it actually hurts the lane a little bit here, because then you can't go for that early aggression to kill the Underlord, maybe level 1, so... I think they don't have any Blood Grenade up there. So they kind of just have to play off of the right clicks rather than being able to chase them out.
Despite that...
Moonstone drop top.
They're going to be able to get something with this. They're surrounded Tofu. Tofu should go down this time. Stania offering up a high 5. Tofu, he's too dead to give it back.
See that? He looked like he was going to be okay for a second. Way too much damage, like 2 hits from Undying. It's like, oh my goodness. Poor Lion. But Ace is farming. So 20 and 7. That's very, very impressive. So
I mean, so we're seeing again around this mid. Boxy heads over, make sure that once again Quinn, he doesn't get the refill.
That is annoying.
This time,
Tofu did die.
He's happy that Tofu died top. Beautiful. Refill from your support.
Nisha catching back up. Quinn definitely having the edge here. Duracho is getting slowed down. That Enigma effect is happening. 10 denies already onto Zai. And he is going to go the build that we've seen pretty much every single time on these Enigmas. Straight into the Vessel, I'd imagine, versus Io. It's going to be fast, so that can be an effective timing to potentially slow down the last track as well, too. Just having that early here on Zai.
Sure.
They're actually getting good damage here on Duracho.
They do get the Shackle connection, but hard to take him down in the mid lane. We're getting a battle to the death here. Quinn tries to step up there, does get the combo on Tanisha. Not quite enough to finish him, and he has to back off.
So close.
Nearly getting him.
Good denies here on Nisha.
I mean, Quinn's probably gonna have to walk back to base.
He does. So Nisha, he should come out actually a little bit ahead now after that one. The moves from Boxy definitely changing the tides of that mid matchup even after the first blood.
No, he's doing well after indeed dying in that first few moves. Yep. And the thing is as well, so when you have this sniper mid, like you can't really gank, right? We're not going to see much movements from Nisha, and the same to be said, of course, for Mickey on this safe lane Medusa. So Is it just a lot of effort and pressure onto Boxy to make plays happening? Like, who's starting the early moves from Liquid?
That's a great question. That's kind of what I was thinking as well, too. It's going to be a little bit awkward, perhaps. So you look at this. They're actually bringing 3 heroes, though, for Quinn.
Yeah, they'll set up with the Tombstone.
Can't get the Shackle.
And with the TPs coming in, it's going to be more than fine. They can't continue to push for that. Yeah, just seem difficult for Liquid to find the action, to start the action. But maybe that's the plan, right? They don't want to start the action. They just want to live, they want to sit back, they want to farm, they want to let the Sniper and Medusa get to a point
Perhaps.
where they're going to be able to sit on their high ground and ain't nobody going to be able to get anywhere close to pushing against their power.
Yeah, we'll see if that ends up... Wow. We'll see if that one actually ends up working out, too, versus the auras that are going to come out really early, too. Ace, he's going to go for full auras plus atrophy. Sniper does at the least kind of outrange that, but yeah, we'll have to see, because it definitely feels just a little bit strange. We'll see how they can execute it, because last game, they did execute very, very well.
They did, yeah.
But this one is
some of the best. I think that was pretty much the best performance Liquid's given up in terms of play, and they've had quite the performances through the match. But to be able to shut it down at that late stage after a bit of a hairy mid game, that was a very, very, very flashy game too for Liquid.
It's impressive to see when a team can use like quad buybacks and be able to get that big effect out of it, rather than having like some scared, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Racho, Jesus, taking a beating. God, careful bottom, he almost just dies. He might steal the Eidolon, seeing it.
Eidolon's D's, Celery.
He has to use a healing Lotus to make sure Duracho lives. That was Zai by himself. He had like a flank of Eidolons coming in. That was actually kind of cool.
We're going to see Quinn head down here.
Yeah, Quinn, he's about to hit 6.
Zai might be caught by a bit of a nasty surprise. Set up there for Quinn. Duracho's able to step up. They'll take Zai down. Good moves from Quinn.
That's his 6th setup, and Duracho will be able to get healed up there from Celery. Nisha taking the space on it from mid, getting a little bit of tower damage here, but a very, very good rotation for Quinn. Runes, Wisdom Rune, it was 1 for 1. I'm most impressed of anything in this game, though, from how Ace's early game is going. Sure. And it looks like it's just going to be straight into maybe even a Crimson early. He has Helm of Iron Will, plus the Ring of Health, incredibly tanky. Mickey is farming up here, but the fact that this Underlord is actually ahead of him is huge.
I mean, it is probably one of the best Crimson games you'll see, right?
Ever.
Like,
I mean, it's not a Wind Ranger core, but it's going to be devastating
across the board. Everything that everyone offers up, there's going to be very little damage done when Ace turns up and pops the Crimson.
Could be the case of damage just being limited across all of the heroes of Liquid, to be honest with you. They do take some time on the Sniper and the Medusa in particular to get those damage items online.
Is under attack.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the game plan is going to be. PD Rune, that's going to be a nice little enable there perhaps for Nisha.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid's putting a lot of effort into making sure that Nisha does continue to have a solid time in this mid after that initial death.
Quinn, of course, going to be ahead, though. The stacks, this is what we see every single time with these Lash, especially on Radiant. I feel like I see these 2 camps just get quad 5x stacked. We're on the DD Rune.
Both supports, Celery and Tofu, also around.
He's getting some good damage on this tower, already 1,000 damage done to it. The Racho has to be unbelievably careful bottom. A power shot and he's dead if you get 5 on Boxy. That power shot will kill him.
The creeps are going to see him. Boxy's going to go straight for him. He gets the Dark Pact off, but a few right clicks. Power shot is completely off the mark.
Not even close.
He's able to walk away.
And here comes the Rift.
As soon as we be careful from the items, Duracho's going to get out into the trees, but indeed with Quinn being brought across, going to be him gone.
That's the other real scary thing that there is on the side of Gaming Gladiators, the Relocate and the Fiendscape. They can always have the numbers in these fights, and Liquid's draft, it's a bit immobile. Medusa Undying, these heroes don't traverse the map very quickly.
I guess at the end of the day, it was just a sort of a 5-head bait there from Duracho. It was like, these guys are going to want to go for me, they're going to try and dive, and if these trying to head in with Boxy to go for it. Any position where he gets caught. And Duracho's hit the 6 now, so now he's going to be perfectly fine now.
Yeah, and he's going for the Dream itemization. And going for the Diffusal. The double dip, of course, versus the Medusa is always going to be really nice with the stat steal, too.
They're still hanging around mid.
The reload.
They want to try and get in on top of Nisha. The stun into the Hex. Quinn in with the follow-up, but the Shackle shot is there.
Nice Shackle.
Two of them. Nisha standing his ground, or at least trying to do so, but he can't against this damage from Quinn. He'll fall. Tofu able to get out for another stun. Quinn's still got mana to play with as he'll try and run down Insania. They'll actually take him back out of there. They don't want to waste any further time chasing down the Undying. They got what they came for. They took down Nisha.
Power Ruin. Quinn's going to quickly buy his point booster. What's it going to be? They're getting fast. They're already accelerating things on the side of Gaming Gladiators.
See up top, and that means Boxy once again will make sure that Liquid continue to control the power.
The good thing on the side of Liquid is how well Zai's game is going. So the Vessel, it's going to come out very quick to deal with this IO in particular with that Lash backing up. And Mickey, he is still farming well. It's just the fact that this Underlord is continuing to stay ahead of him.
Yeah. And is that...
Could be dangerous. He's got to go Arcane Boots first.
Okay. And then he'll be able to get the Crimson probably finish soon if he wants to. I mean,
Yeah, he's going to go Crimson, Celery's going to go Mac, then he can maybe go for... He doesn't even have to go pipe this game.
I don't need... No, you don't need the pipe.
That's
right.
useless this game.
No, you can go for other stuff.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be some damage issues, I would say, for Liquid.
Just, I think you're all eyes on seeing how this sniper's going to work out. Because so far, it's a slow start, it's a hard start.
Maybe he's a distraction, though. Maybe the sniper's also just like, hey, you're going to put more attention on this, and then that's where Mickey is going to cry.
I mean, I guess, but it feels like you kind of need a mid.
You need more than just one.
Something in this pack.
I agree. This one just does look... It looks like it could get weird.
I mean, honestly, I want it to work. You know, I want to start queuing up some sniper mid. This hero's fun.
You said you hated it.
Well, it's fun if you don't lose, which doesn't happen a lot. Especially when I'm not playing. Apparently when the pros aren't either. This hero does not seem to win right now.
He's just... they're trapped. I'm just looking at heroes crawling, right? Yeah. 285 move... Well, actually, I don't think that's right. 285 with trash. Well, it's very slow movement, like 325 whatever movement speed on a sniper. Adusa, who also moves like 300 something movement speed. Everyone is very slow. And right now, Duracho, he's already feeling confident to get a bit aggressive to slow down Mika's farm. He's got Tofu with it. Got the reload.
They do. This Medusa, Mika's in a lot of trouble. Quinn comes in. He's actually going to miss the stun. It doesn't matter. Just a straight up burst from the finger.
This could be a rough one, Owen.
Under attack.
It's all about the high ground.
I believe
the plan.
Do we believe in Zai? It's going to be up to... And then Mika, I feel like he's going to have trouble because the Slark is going to now have Diffusal and hunting him.
Dire's top tower.
I'm worried for the boys. I'm worried for these boys. The acceleration of gaming's dropped. It's so easy to make moves. Like, there's Beans Gates, there's relocates. They're quick. Even Duracho can set up ganks. And now he's got the Fusel. So I think he can look to even play around this top side, kind of like the way that we saw Amar playing this top lane Slark, and just not let this Dusa come and get this farm up.
This is just not a safe place. I mean, Mickey's going to return to the tier 2.
I mean, he can't go anywhere else. He has to stay up here.
That's true. We'll see if Duracho sort of scouts. So I guess relocate's still on cooldown for 50 seconds. So that's
Beans gets up.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, they've got multiple ways to back him up if he finds the catch.
They have a lot of different ways to go for it. And Tofu. Okay, it's only level 1 mana drain, but I mean, if he gets some good levels, I could even see him going some 4-1-4 build.
I mean, will there be space for kind of Nisha and Mickey? I mean, Nisha's, you know, he's taking the ancients.
Yeah.
You know, they're his. Poor old Mickey, he ain't getting these.
Under attack.
We'll have to see. Bottom tower almost falling. Ace will just get denied.
Has been denied.
Let that golden and Crimson Guard's already done. Max atrophy. LeQuinn, does he have the Bloodstone? He does. Celery's got the mech. Gonna continue accelerating here from the side of gaming.
It really feels like they've got the build up to the winning combination. OC Gaming Gladiators 13 minutes in, Ace at the top. They've got the Quinn, Celery, less Io. They've won. Feels like millions of games with this.
Yep, and the sniper is falling. I mean, he's bottom of the cores already by a decent margin in comparison to what gaming's got.
And that's with a full ancient stack
for
himself. He's a tough company.
Mickey brings himself a sentry up or a ward up top. He gets immediately dewarded. That's the thing also about the Slark too. It's like you're trying to find it and be able to see when these heroes are coming. He just gets the deward instant. Look, this is another ward they just placed. Duracho, he's going to scout it. He's going to ping it. They're going to deward that immediately and keep this pressure onto Liquid.
And Liquid, they just brought 4 heroes over towards the mid. They looked at Ace, and then they were like,
hell no.
Nah, we're good.
Oh,
and then they had to walk away.
He is an issue.
Yeah, Crimson Guard, 1k gold on top of it. I mean, we'll see what he wants to go for. What do you imagine he wants to go for next?
Maybe Lotus. Lotus or Halberd. Yeah, I'm cool with it. I think
Halberd, and then you just render one of the cores of Liquid completely.
I like the Dispel versus the Spirit Vessel and versus the like a Malefice and stuff like that. But I could see a Halberd also working in. But I think their lineup is about just Quinn getting the ball going. He's got this healing, and then if they can just put the coverage on him, they're fine. So.
Duracho offering up a little bit of a tip towards Nisha.
I'm sure they're having like kind of similar thoughts about this sniper because we literally saw what happened, what Liquid did to this sniper earlier. Bottom side shows himself. He's gone.
It's very difficult to come out on the map when again the Gladiators have the tools that they do.
And you can see that Liquid. They're like, well, how do we make moves? How do we respond to moves?
I mean, no, the setup is boxing.
No, setup is only boxing, and the damage is nobody.
It's tough.
He is gonna go Halberd. It's one or the other. Howard being dropped. Setting up for bottom. I feel like this is the only way they can actually do moves is if they 5-man the IO. Otherwise, they're gonna just get reloaded and set play.
Maybe they can get
Quinn.
They get the shackle.
Relocate.
Celery's ready to take him out. As Quinn, he's perfectly fine. I mean, he takes him out. It's still 2/3 of his HP. We'll see if they can get.
They'll get the
Celery on the.
They should get this IO. At least bring Mickey down here too.
Taking the full 5 of them, though, to hang around for this.
For an Aya.
It is indeed just the Aya.
Give it a Mickey. And he should release it.
It's one of those games, you know, you queue up sniper mid, you want to be the carry. You don't care who's playing on the safe lane hero. You know, you're ready to carry the game on your own. So there's Nisha's plan here.
See if it works. Tofu Blink set up. They've got aggressive wards placed around the top side too if Mickey wants to go up here. I think Mickey now is just going to play bottom side though. So perhaps could see Gaming maybe get a ward down here to look for him because it has been some time since they have seen this Medusa playing up there. Timing here for Zai also. Still not quite having his Blink dagger. Perhaps, I think the Blink maybe is one of the ones that actually allows them to make some type of plays. Then they have a way to start some fights. Still very, very difficult versus what Gaming's going to be bringing. It feels like they'll always have the numbers.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I'm just watching Dyrachyo slog ahead of a Medusa and farm. Something you never really want to see if you are a Medusa.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Very hard to see what the play is here for Liquid.
Back and farm. You can get that big farm and that butterfly timing for the Medusa to gather around. Trying to see if they're building auras, but Zai's feeling like he has to go for Blink if they have no way to start fights.
Radiant's middle tower.
They punish Dyrachyo up here.
Dyrachyo.
I mean, Dyrachyo wants to go in.
Yeah, he's kind of looking at them.
They've got relocate.
They see Insania. He's going to shot the tombstone. They're going to Fiend's Gate over. Boxing and Nisha, they've got to start backing away. Look at this. There's no saving Insania. And Mickey will TP across. Mickey trying to step up into this.
Doing work.
And is Celery getting black hole? They'll drop the black hole onto Quinn, but Topa's able to put a stop to it with the stun.
Relocate.
And they take Quinn down the path. They're out of there. Celery's able to take them out. Dyrachyo, he's still going. He's able to find Boxing.
He's going down.
Full dive for this.
Good kill.
They can find Ace. Ace
Here comes Quinn though.
Ace is a hard one to kill. They can't go for Ace. There's going to be a buyback from Boxy. The room's going to be laid down on the 2, and then the fingers there on Nisha. Nisha's out. Ace,
gotta run.
he wants to dive into the tier 2. He's looking towards Zai. Zai, we're getting another round of Eidolons off, and Ace, he'll back away. Just want to keep pushing under the tier 2 with the buyback coming in from Boxy.
Ace taking literally no damage. He has 200 atrophy stack built up on him. That was actually a decent attempt with how far behind they are. They didn't quite get the black hole to pull Celery in. He's able to distance himself and make sure that Quinn is safe. That tombstone did work. It actually did quite a bit there for Liquid in comparison, but either way, they only get it.
He's just thinking about just walking into this triangle area. He knows that very little is going to force him back.
Pretty much has Albert.
Crazy timings here.
Look, he can just walk in.
I'll take that.
They set up for this guy. I mean, he is such a beast.
They're going to try.
Tombstone's down.
They get it laid down, but the stun's going to clip onto Insania. They'll lose Insania, they'll lose the tombstone. Topa's getting a little bit low. Zai's trying to wrap around the back lines to find him. Topa's going to get healed over by Celery. Liquid, they're having to back off once more. Quinn, he's going to try and chase down Zai. Nisha attempting to stand his ground and shoot back at Celery with the roots there. It's Dyrachyo wrapping around from behind. He's in with the ultimate on top of the sniper. It's 4 dead on Liquid. Mickey, the only one left alive.
Oh man, this is so rough to watch.
It's a tough one.
They just walk at them. Ace, look, he loses 200 HP. Pop Crimson, can't touch him.
No.
And Dyrachyo, he's able to get some stacks up. He's still level 1 essence shit, but either way, he's able to stand his ground. And now he's even looking for Mickey. Do they have relocate up again? They do. They're paying for it. Dyrachyo's like, let's go.
They're absolutely going to go for this. Mickey is pretty much entirely out of mana. They Fiend's Gate over as well. Not a chance here for Mickey as they take down the Medusa.
Radiant's top tower
I don't know what Liquid does with their trying this.
What do they do?
It's too much.
The high ground defense.
The high ground defense. All right. The 5-man black hole.
That's what they're going to gear up for. Hold the high ground with the sniper and the Medusa. That's the plan. I mean, it must be. It's just hard to see what the plan was other than that this game. I mean,
look at Dyrachyo. I mean, he goes up running in as well too. Shield run on him. Insania will be able to survive, but push back. They're in their base at 19 minutes. They're just getting forced back completely. Zai goes bottom. He sees some creeps to farm. They just get set up in as well. Relocate and Fiends get her down, but look at these plays. Dyrachyo's just setting up everything.
Yeah, and they're always here with the backup.
Yeah.
Whether it's Celery coming in with the relocate, or Ace coming in with the Fiend's Gate, or just both of them. Because why not?
Mid tower to fall. Oxy
Dire's middle
tries to
tower
find an
has
angle, but
fallen.
14,000 gold lead for the side of Gaming Gladiators with their IO Lesh bread and butter. Yep.
It always has been, and it certainly still is here, as being shown in this game.
The it's the XP difference too that's really hurting. When you look at the levels across the board of everybody.
Another catch in Stadium. Tries to get out for a bit of warding. Put an end to his life and to his couriers.
Alright, well, yeah, this is not busted on. Even if this Deuce and like you said, high ground defense with this
In the high ground defense, maybe.
She's too far behind. They can just portal behind her and just completely surround her even. And they get the Ratio here. Got a black hole. Needs to drop it. They're coming in. Gaming team coming in.
Got it on top in time as well, Duracho. So a little bit of survivability. Celery's in with the heal. Duracho's still alive. He's going to be some full HP. He turns, takes down Zai, pounds forward, gets the catch on the wall. Mickey. Mickey's able to get away from it at least as Nisha Hurricane pikes Mickey out of the pounce.
They just have to full run. They can't even kill the
They
Spark.
can get the catch onto Nisha. Nisha will get forced back by Insania, but the root's there. Ace shutting off the escape from Nisha. Insania's dying to Duracho. It's 3 dead again. 18-3.
I wouldn't be too shocked if Liquid calls it relatively soon. There's just no... Yeah,
There we go.
that's what I kind of thought.
There we have it. We've had 2 close games so far, but this game 3, it's completely the opposite. 21-minute GG. Gaming Gladiators. They'll take the lead now in this best-of-5 final, 2-1.
No more sniper, please. No more sniper.
I mean, the teams keep trying it. It's just not working at all.
No, I think with
he's been slept on a lot, and suddenly,
5 seconds remaining.
you know, he's getting first rounded in the 4th game of the Grand Finals.
They did first phase it one time against 9 Pandas with an Undying, but it was a different pick priority. It was Undying pick, and then Brood Mother Pugna responded by 9 Pandas, and then 8th pick Primal.
Okay.
Usually it's not a super good
Diamond
sign when your
Gladiators,
second pick and you pick
Mira.
one hero, and then you have to wait
Yeah.
Second
to
hero.
get the second hero because you're not sure. Maybe they're just thinking a little bit of they had options and which one would be best. This one works. Classic counter against the Enchantress as well. It could be mid primal. Zai could play in the off lane. Both these heroes are quite good versus Enchantress. Trample will just kill Inch really quick on top of the onslaught. You got the arrow set up to deal with the pulverize, and then of course the arrow can just get rid of the creeps. But because of that, Gaming Gladiators, they'll just take the tried and true Medusa and ban out Anti-Mage, Shadow Demon, and Darkseer.
Exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff.
I imagine they have to believe that Primal Mirana addresses Medusa preemptively in some way. Primal does do a lot of sustained damage, like he does if he's allowed to stand on top of you. He just keeps coming out. The Trample's one of the highest single damage spells in the game. One thing I would like to note about Primal Beast, because Gunnar was nerding out about it on panel the other day, is that his charge, when he releases it, is a dispellable buff. So if Celery is on top of his game, at any point in the game, if Zai tries to escape or start gank with charge, he can just enchant it right off.
He just like stops in his tracks.
Stops. Yep.
That's rather weird that it actually works that way.
Yep. Gunnar knows best.
We have not been able to test whether it's you can dispel it while he's charging up or while he's only in motion, but you can take it off.
So this unstoppable beast that just charges in with momentum.
Well,
this little Enchantress
Liquids
just
turn to ban.
chants you away.
That chants you away.
Makes sense.
What doesn't make sense is they didn't stick to their old bans. You said it was Anti-Mage, Shadow Demon, Darkseer. Instead, game and ban out the Underlord.
Yep.
Oh, last game is a good example, I guess.
Yeah, probably gonna leave the Shadow Demon, and you ban AM Underlord.
They might leave the Darkseer.
Yeah, they have
damage.
damage.
Enchantress.
That could be true.
Oh yeah, that's true.
5 seconds
Yeah, this
remaining.
spell from the Enchant is exactly why the Iron Shell.
Yep, that's true.
And actually, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you take Darkseer as well and you make a wall illusion of Medusa, you just chant it.
No, that's true.
And now you have the Darkseer's wall.
I mean, that's also the same case as Shadow Demon.
Yeah. Except that one will only last for a few seconds, but still.
You get two of them.
14, that's long enough.
Well, you get 2 illusions with Shouting, so ban the one that gives 2 illusions, so you can't steal them both. Well, you can if you have the shard, but
And obviously, it would give great setup for Mirana Arrow.
You could also just pick TB because the reflection illusion is not
Diamond
enchantable.
Gladiators
It is
turn to
dispellable.
ban.
and you do buy Manta every game on Medusa.
Okay. You got me there.
But that matchup is, we saw it a lot, like if you go back to Dream League days, but it feels like the TB players have learned their lesson and don't really pick TB anymore against Medusa.
10 seconds
Any
remaining.
hero that relies on Satanic for sustain just sucks against Medusa.
5 seconds
It's really
remaining.
sad that's how it works. I wonder if they consider changing that or if Medusa's just going to be left as is in that
Liquids
regard, because the
turn
way
to
damage
ban.
reduction and like lifesteal mechanics work with her, it's just very unintuitive and hard to deal with as a carry, because now like you have to look at something like Faceless Void, which has Time Walk for sustain, Slark, Jug. These are generally the heroes you have to go to.
Yeah,
10
at least
seconds
Jug's
remaining.
Blade Dance lifesteal goes through Mana Shield.
That indeed is true.
5 seconds remaining.
They do take out the Darkseer.
I like the Clockwork ban a lot from Liquid. I have not seen a successful Primal Beast game against Clock yet, so that hero makes a lot of sense. What other heroes versus Primal? I've seen a lot of Ember, seen a lot of Clock. That third one is a little bit hazy for me. When you have that early Primal, but heroes you just don't want to play
Team
against.
Liquids
I
turn
don't know if
to pick.
Bloodseeker's an issue, but
It can be, but you already have your carry,
Gladiators
right?
turn
So it's likely, and then they just decided Shadow Demon is the lesser of the evils, the under. Maybe it was just because the game, last game, how much impact Ace was having on that Underlord against Medusa. They're afraid of that happening to them as well. They're just going to ban it out.
yeah, I feel like
10
conceptually
seconds remaining.
Enchantress would be more okay with the Darkseer, but it's, like I said, now Liquid have
5
offensive
seconds
potential with the
remaining.
disruption into Arrow.
Sure, they just go Techies +1 for a really strong.
They need a mid hero that can go to the back line, some Pango, some Puck, make sure that this SD is going to be dealt with in the team fights.
Is Pugna off the table because then you have no stuns in your support duo?
Yeah, then you're gonna, I mean, still a pretty good hero, but I feel like I don't really like it so much with the Enchantress, so it limits a lot of your play. You don't have a lot of options. You're just basically playing on keeping the Medusa alive, and I don't really like to all in on the Medusa. I feel like she doesn't really need it, you know, like all you need is like a team around you that can make plays, gank heroes, make space, and Medusa will do the rest.
You like Rubik? I think Rubik versus Primal has been like a go-to this tournament. Stealing Pulverize is absolutely disgusting.
The way Rubik does it too looks really fun.
Beastmaster.
Pick up the ace hero.
Plus Techie.
Really, they're gonna pick a support. Techie's is stable. I think it's pretty good.
That's why you just don't see anything about your laning opponent. It could be the Mirana, it could be the Shadow Demon. You don't see the carry yet. You just need to ensure that this Beastmaster has a game. They also could do something like Coddle because of the Medusa factor with mana, and you also go stack Ancients. You have the axes in lane.
I mean, how about Skyrath, so the Beastmaster has someone to play with.
Skyrath Mage would work. They are a bit lacking damage right now.
They don't have really much burst damage at the moment.
Team
Be careful of like all-inning the roar.
Lion.
So they go for Lion. Okay, so rather than like all-inning the roar, they just take more disables because you have the Shadow Demon, and you also have the mana drain against the Dusa illusions that they could create with Shadow Demon. A little bit of like trumping your trump card going on here.
They tried that in the game they lost though, and it really didn't work out for them. So it's not easy to pull off. Like Lion is a hero that sometimes has to initiate for your team, right? And sometimes when you initiate, you're just dead. So if he's able to play in the backlines and deal with illusions with the shard, that can work. But then you can't really use Lion much as an initiator in the team fights. And Beast generally might not want to be that as well.
I mean, one thing I would say with the Lion and Beastmaster is like, because Beastmaster is he's gonna soak up a lot of space. That's why I suggested Sky. So, and the difference between Lion and Sky is Lion, he needs the lane to go well, and he needs to buy a blink. And when you're laning with Beastmaster naturally just takes up a lot of space, a lot of farm, so it'll be difficult for you to get that unless you really start very well with the lane as a Lion. They're gonna go with the Jug, so it gives them some sort of like late game insurance against the Medusa. But I'm more worried about the first 20 minutes because you have the Beastmaster and Medusa timing with the Enchantress creeps, you know. They win the early game, they're gonna be knocking on your front door very, very soon. And your Juggernaut might not be ready to fight.
Yeah, this carry pick like had to have sustain built in because first off we talked about the Medusa lifesteal interaction, but also in the laning stage, unless your support is giving it to you, Beastmaster just kind of chucks you out of lane by throwing axes at you nonstop. So they definitely drafted this carry as a sustain to the Beastmaster's damage. Eventually they can make a rotation to him. Jug's a good carry to gank for around level 5 and 6. It's really important to do that against Beastmaster. So considering that, you know, Primal would be solid mid here, depending on what Quinn elects to go for. But they also could pick something like the Puck, like the you had mentioned a few other mobile heroes, Pango,
or Quinn. Not against Primal, not again. I think.
For Team Liquid in my question.
Team Liquid, gotcha.
What do you think about Quinn's pick here?
Is it against Primal, or are we just blind picking?
It's like theoretically, yes, Primal, but if you counter it, then they'd probably move it.
A lot of his heroes are banned now at this point.
What a good old-fashioned neutral Wind Ranger.
Diamond Gladiators turn to bad.
It's not bad. Definitely not bad.
I like the DK ban.
Yeah. I was gonna say with the Juggernaut as well, that works pretty well for the lineup.
You're not worried about playing against the Purge as the Wind Ranger?
Yeah, I'm saying for...
Yeah, it looks hard.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Actually, both teams have Purge, I didn't think about that.
10 seconds remaining.
The thing about it is, Jug... They picked a Jug because of the sustain factor, but he's also really bad against like single target physical as well as single target burst, and maybe he's just trusting the Shadow Demon to alleviate that problem. But
I mean, that lane's rather weird, right? You don't really work well with the Shadow Demon in the lane to kill.
Yeah, we also questioned it.
This is when Quest...
Yeah, Quest did it, and then they won the lane, so maybe there's something we're missing about this, because I had the same concern, and then they ended up shutting down the offlane Doom really hard.
Quest actually did it against Game and Gladiators, and that was the one game that they won in that series.
Did they have a Lich that game, though?
No, it was Rubik as the other support.
Rubik, yeah.
Yeah, it was a Shadow Demon Jug lane, I remember. A little weird. but
we
they would like to ban the Pango for Nisha.
Diamond Gladiators turn
And we talked a
to
bit
pick.
about this Juggernaut and how good he is late game. I think to double down on that, if you are playing carry, you're playing versus Lion, you are playing versus Beastmaster, having a Saint Yasha carrier, an item that Jug likes to go, will make him even stronger in the late game with a Shadow Demon save, so that is a potential
10
option
seconds
as well if he
remaining.
wants to go that route.
Do you ever finish him off with the Quinn Void Spirit, guys?
5
Do you
seconds
ever finish him
remaining.
off with it?
That'll bring this whole tournament full circle.
And I'm kind of looking at his hero pool right now, and like most of the heroes that he has played in this tournament don't really make sense in this game. So he is gonna have to go
Wow, on him here.
Turn
Just
to
give it
pick.
to him. Oh, the other Spirit, okay.
Yeah, that's
First time he's played at this tournament.
Yeah, surprisingly enough.
Like his main job this game is to deal with the back line. The rest of it is dealt with the Dusa and Beast. They provide you with the team fight and the damage, the auras that you need. So his job is just pretty straightforward. He deals with the back
10
line,
seconds
and Dusa's
remaining.
just gonna win the fight for him.
I want to see a Death Prophet for Team Liquid here.
5
Such a
seconds
Team Liquid hero.
remaining.
Just momentum in the mid lane, shuts down the Storm in terms of like, can't really go on her. Gives you an objective taker, secures Roche.
They could play the Wind Ranger too themselves.
That would be okay too, yeah.
We don't often consider it, but Lion with the 15 talent is a mana battery.
Oh, there's a
Select
push!
your
That's
heroes.
better than my suggestion. Okay, that's way better than my suggestion.
Lone Druid Juggernaut throwback.
It's the same idea as what I mentioned with the Death Prophet though. Like, you're going to create a lot of